Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. I hope you had a super weekend. Sorry. That was too easy. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. You usually do stuff like that.
I do.
You do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not me. You do that. JCS at 979 ESPNRadio.com is the email. On Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. WTSM app for mobile devices. Use it. It's free. I put the radio calls. Just download the damn app. I went into Tiger Woods for a second.
You did.
Yeah. WTSM app free for mobile phones. Just, whatever, tablets. We're on YouTube. Hey, YouTube, how are you? ESPN Tallahassee, and also on Periscope if on Twitter you're following the at 979 ESPN radio feed.
I can't hear you when I pull up to the Subway drive-thru.
Oh, man. All right. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles and their fans. They are Super Bowl champions. Not a likable fan base there. Nope. Not really, but they are first-time winners, and we have a likable Philadelphia fan here in studio every day directing the YouTube feed and doing a bunch of other stuff that we couldn't live without. And so I'm happy for Matthew, who works on the show every day and works here with us at ESPN. And he's a lifelong all things Philadelphia fan. Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, all of it. Sixers. Imagine that.
Right.
So you know what? You doff the cap and you're happy for people like that who are loyal fans. Fun game for the rest of us to watch. You and I bet money illegally on the Philadelphia Eagles to win, and so I'm excited about that because we did emerge victorious with our illegal gambling. And I also bet legally offshore for the Eagles to win. So I did a lot of good things with this game.
Some would say that maybe what you're saying might have some veracity to
maybe
it.
Maybe
not. I don't know what
some
you're talking
potato
about.
chips here or there, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. And then what'd you get me by a half point, I think, in our wager?
I did. I said it at,
I owe you a $25 beer, I think.
That's right. Up to a $25 bomber.
Yeah. Cool. I'll be happy to pay up.
We'll have to go to the 7th Hill Tap Room and go grab. They got the selection of the bombers.
Wait, let's do that together. We'll have a good time and reminisce about the Eagles vanquishing the New England Patriots, who could not get to Nick Foles. I'm gonna sum this up real quick and then get to some FSU basketball, which I was really wrong about, and I'm excited about having been wrong about that. Really excited. But they could not get to Nick Foles, and Nick Foles played well in the playoffs, and he played well when he had to here, certainly, and had all the time in the world to throw the football and made those throws, executed those plays, and had to because the Eagles' defense, which we thought might be responsible for winning this game over the Patriots, really did not play well at all. And Tom Brady, in a losing effort, threw for over 500 yards, to give you an idea. So the fact that Nick Foles executed and performed the way that he did, this is a guy who I think that storyline is really interesting. He had talked about maybe wanting to step aside from football and retiring. He was a backup. Carson Wentz is going to win the MVP of the entire league if he doesn't get hurt. He's that good. So Foles knows he's never going to play. Wentz goes down, Foles has to play, and then he wins the Super Bowl MVP. It's a really cool story. And he doesn't just play. This ain't no Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl in Denver in his final year. No, this was my man made plays and was really, really, nearly perfect.
I think it would be interesting fodder for Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio. Probably not here, but could you have expected Wentz to play that well in his first foray in the playoffs?
If they couldn't get to him, yes. I mean, if you're going to block it up like that.
In the Super Bowl, yeah. But,
I don't know, man. It's hard, right? I mean, Nick Foles played great, and you couldn't play any better, so it would be hard to say that. But I just, Philadelphia obviously knows who their quarterback is moving forward. If you're Nick Foles and you do want to continue to play football, the Jacksonville Jaguars may be a place that will be giving you a call real soon because they could use a quarterback, to say the least.
RPO land. Let's go.
You don't necessarily have to do that, but if you can block it up, he can throw the ball accurately. That's the whole thing that I see with him, is that he stands tall in the pocket, he can throw the ball accurately, and it wasn't just this one game. We've seen enough of him to know he can play pretty well. I thought he played above and beyond what I could have ever expected him to do when he came in for wins. He had that one clunker of a game where he looked terrible. I mean, look, like awful, and you always got to be careful with that. But when he was great, he was really good. So
he was really, really good. There was an interview on the desk of the NFL Game Day, NFL Network guys, post-game last night, and it had both Foles and Doug Peterson on the desk. And they asked him a question. LT asked him a question about, what did you do to change your offense for Nick Foles when Wentz went down?
He said nothing, right?
He said, I mean, what a novel concept, and it just sounds so simple. Everything always sounds simple when you win, though, so I'll qualify that. But his response was, I just sat and I had conversations with him and looked at the film of things that worked for him.
Didn't like, yeah.
There are so many coaches who would say, well, this is the system, so let's see how you run the system. We may cater the system to you a little bit, but this is by and large the system. No, Peterson says, I talked to him. I looked at the film, and I saw what he did well, and that's what we schemed around. It's just so damn refreshing to hear a coach say, all right, well, screw it. If I have a plan with Carson, you're not Carson, are you?
Yeah.
Your name is Nick.
Right.
So I'm going to treat you like a different person.
Well, and I'll tell you, I think at the end of the day, I just like to see guys rewarded for being aggressive. And Doug Peterson was really aggressive and never nervous, and he called the game boldly. And the Eagles never backed down when New England would go down and score, and even late in that game when New England took the lead in the fourth quarter, you knew that Philadelphia, the way they had come into that game, the way they had called plays in the playoffs, the way that they had coached the players, I should say, that they weren't going to back off the pedal there, and they didn't, and they're rewarded for it, and you like to see that, and we got an entertaining game out of it, and crazy numbers and statistics, which I'll throw at you throughout the show off and on today. Let's get to FSU basketball for a second, because the Noles go on the road and do something they never do against Louisville, and that's win at Louisville. In a game that I said they would not win. I said they would not win, and I gave them virtually no chance to win, and boy, was I wrong, because this was not a fluke. They outplayed Louisville. They were the better team on Saturday. They deserved to win that basketball game. They tried to give it away in the last minute and a half. Thankfully, they held on. You get the big defensive stop from Terrence Mann, which we had to have after he clunked 2 free throws, and then you get the dunk on the other end from MJ, and that's it. You salt it away, and it's a huge win for Florida State, above and beyond the fact that I was so happy for the kids to go on the road and play hard after having that loss against Wake Forest, in which they got a little arrogant. They got up 10 in that game against Wake. Wake's having a terrible season. I think that maybe they thought Wake would lay down and go away. Wake didn't lay down and go away, began to tree. Now you got a problem on your hand. You got a team that believes they can win in their own place, and we didn't go and step up there, and so that was frustrating. But to see them turn it all around, proved me dead ass wrong big time, and go win that game against Louisville, I'm proud of them. And moreover, for those of us that want to see this program gain some consistency and go to back-to-back NCAA tournaments, even after having lost talent to professional basketball, 2 to the NBA, 1 to international, this is going to go a long way in that endeavor. 80-76, probably stunning the folks at Louisville, to say the least, because they haven't seen us come into their place and win. 1989? You got to be kidding me, right? Was that the right year?
That's correct. Yes, 1989.
I was a senior in high school, Tom Lang. You were 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the game was, by the way, speaking of which, we're talking about a little bit, you can look at it statistically. We can do all that. I'll get into this game a little bit more in detail after this segment. But one thing to say is it was an exciting game to watch, too. The product itself was really, really good. A lot of play above the rim, for example. You had the lead change hands. I think it was 6 times. You had 3 ties in that second half. You had a lot of things happening in this game that was exciting to watch. And, you kind of knew the late run that you got from Louisville there was going to happen. Now, I didn't think we'd aid that endeavor by not being able to inbound the basketball or missing those 2 free throws. But I did think that, for example, you'd see a big 3 made by Louisville. You'd see some big shots. They're good players, well-coached, good team, at home. They're going to do that. They're not going to make it easy on you. And so to finally get the stop and to get the win is a big damn deal. So Florida State, big one coming up. It sets up Wednesday's game against Virginia big time. If you are somehow, let's just say it, I know there's work to be done, and you can't just say things in absolutes like I did last week when I said they couldn't win this game and I was wrong. If they beat Virginia on Wednesday, Tom, we're done here. They're going to the NCAA tournament.
I think that's accurate.
I do too. I think that's accurate. Now, I mean, you wouldn't want to lose out.
Sure.
But you're not going to lose out. I think for all intents and purposes.
There you go.
If you win.
I like it.
There you go. If you win on Wednesday against Virginia, and that's a big I and a big F. Virginia is so good. Undefeated in the conference for a reason. They've gone on the road and won at Cameron. They've won everywhere. So, we're not favored to win Wednesday. But that place will be packed. It will be electrifying. We'll be there in the Corner Pocket ESPN suite.
That's yeah. Oh, yeah.
Executive suite.
Well, with the Vista.
Oh, what a vista indeed. So I can't wait for that. We'll be there on Wednesday night, and that place will be packed and loud, and who knows? Who knows? Virginia's not going to go undefeated in conference, are they? Why not us? Why not us, everybody?
Yeah, I'd prefer we catch them, if they got this far, that they not lose to Syracuse over the weekend and they put Syracuse down like a sick puppy.
That's what they did.
So, yeah.
They'll come in at 11-0 in the ACC, 22-1. They've won 14 straight games. They're ranked number 1 in the RPI, number 2 in the AP coaches poll, just behind Villanova, who's so good. But Virginia has been really good. By the way, did you know that Clemson is 8-3 in conference and 5-0 at home and 3-3 on the road and 19-4 overall? And where the hell this came from, nobody knows.
Yeah, that's a big game a week from now. Not to look too far ahead, but when we play them a week from Wednesday here in Tallahassee, you might want to get that one here because the Little John,
That's a toughie, right?
Quality win on the road.
Yeah, you got to pull that one out. 17-6 for Florida State now with that win. 6-5 in the ACC. They're muddled together with Miami and Louisville and NC State and North Carolina, teams that have 6 wins in conference. Of course, Florida State beat Miami just this past weekend, previous weekend, I should say, previous week. So you have the split with them. You now have the split with Louisville. You still got to play NC State. Of course, you beat North Carolina already, so it's a good situation. Florida State's right back there. They kind of undid the bad there. Got back in the good graces.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. If you wanted to win one of the 2 road games, this is the one that'll help you more. I think the net effect is actually positive of beating Louisville and losing to Wake versus the other way around. Still, it's not just about the season and result by result, but within a game, I don't remember a basketball team pull a Corey Clark trick here, but I can't remember a Florida State basketball team that leaves me more emotionally exhausted consistently as this team does. These games, man, you need a break when they're over. You need to go walk, just look at trees and watch birds fly.
Some people walk, some people drink a beer.
Right.
Yeah, it can be tough.
You need something.
You got to have something. That's right. Well, this team tried to, absolutely create a situation where I might become emotionally unstable in front of children. I was at a baseball practice. Can't do that watching on my phone. That's...
Do you do a victory lap around the bases during practice?
I went to watch in my car. I was at a baseball practice. My son Bryce is playing, and it was his first practice of the year. They're getting ready to get, they just now getting started. So he's meeting new teammates, and he's meeting his coach and all of that, and he's playing up. So I'm a little nervous as a dad because he's the youngest player on the team, and he's playing up, and kids can play, and so I'm thinking, well, I don't know how he's going to do. Let's see. So I wanted to be there for him for his first practice. So I take him there, and I could tell he's a little nervous. So I tell him, Dad's not even going to watch the game. Don't worry about it. I'm taping it. I'm DVRing it. When we get done with this baseball practice, we'll go to eat, come home, and I'll watch the game, and I won't check scores or anything like that. I lied to him, Tom. I lied to him.
Well, you didn't intend
I did not intend to lie to him. It turned into a massive lie.
Yeah.
But it worked out because, I actually don't like to make him nervous by watching everything, right? So, it's that fine line that you try to pull off there. So you want to know you're there to support him if anything goes wrong or he has any questions or he's nervous about something. At the same time, you don't want him to think that you're analyzing his every move. So, I got him out there, and he met the coach and the players, and we were all, chit-chatting away, and that was nice. And I knew that, and my phone was buzzing in my pocket. Mm-hmm. And I knew that would be friends and family and others texting me about the game or the score, or I'd be getting updates with my ESPN app or whatever it might be, right? And I was a corporate shill there for a second. And the next thing you know, I couldn't help myself.
It takes an accident.
The next thing you know, there was a buzz, and I looked down, and the score was tied in the first half, and I went, Oh, well, you know, he's doing fine. He seems to be doing all right. They're just working on bunting right now. He's got this. They're just bunting. Anybody can do it. All right, well, maybe I'll jump in the car and take a little look-see on my Watch ESPN app. And then did it again. And I did. I pulled it up, and I began to watch it, and then I watched every second of it from that point forward and didn't watch any of my son's baseball practice, but rather instead every second of that basketball game. And I was elated that I did. And when they won, I jumped from my vehicle, and I ran around 2 times, and then I put my phone away and I watched the end of Bryce's practice.
I'd prefer the version after Florida State wins that you run out to home plate and then drop down with a Ric Flair woo and then begin to round the bases with your hand. Like, who was that guy?
Kids would be like, what in the hell?
Was it the Dodgers player or the Astros player in the World Series that they're down 2 and he hits the home run? I think it was the Dodgers player, right?
Yeah. Who pimped a home run.
to slim the margin.
To slim the margin, yes. I was like,
I'd prefer you pull that one.
Yes.
Yeah, like Culverson or something like that.
I was laughing at him when he did. I even commented on it. I'm like, yo, my man, that didn't tie the game.
Nor did it win it.
No, they lost the game. Yeah, that was ridiculous. but anyhow, Jeff Cameron Show 97.9. ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. go.
During Aaron's anniversary sale, you're going to be blown away. Get big lease-to-own savings on an LG 65-inch 4K TV, an Amana laundry pair, bedrooms, living rooms, and so much more. Plus, get 6 months same as cash with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. All month long, come to a participating Aaron's store and get 6 months same as cash. Or visit Aaron's.com during Aaron's anniversary sale. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
There's a way to give her a box of chocolate on Valentine's Day.
And a way to give her a box of chocolate on Valentine's Day.
Turn it up this Valentine's Day with Levion Chocolate Diamond Jewelry from Jared. You'll find more exclusive Levion pieces at Jared than any other jewelry store in the world. And when you visit Jared.com from February 1st through the 14th, you'll receive $100 off any Levion purchase. That's our Valentine's gift to you.
And that's why he went to Jared.
Some exclusions apply. See Jared.com for details.
Results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. If you owe the IRS back taxes, payroll taxes, or have not filed your returns, the IRS will get you. They can take your property, take you to court, even put you in jail. With one call to WALL, you'll never need to talk to the IRS again. Our average client settles for about 10% of what is owed. We offer free face-to-face consultations in your local area. Call 800-727-0433. That's 800-727-0433.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, one of the aspects of the win against Louisville that I was most buoyed by is the fact that some of it was sparked because of very good defense for Florida State in that second half. They held Louisville to just 36% shooting from the floor. Florida State shot 52% in the final 20 minutes of the game. So, yeah, outscored Louisville by playing better defense and rebounded better as well. Louisville rebounded better, I should say. In second chance points, they had an advantage. But the fact that you bothered to get in front of somebody for the first time in a long time on the road against a really skilled team is exciting.
Oh, there's just so many elements to this game that, man, they leave a smile on your face because I knew it, with a couple minutes to go. One way or the other, heartbreak or thrills of victory. I'm not going to forget this game for a while. Some regular season games you're going to forget. But Snare, for the win, you're not going to soon forget that. And I don't think we ever will as long as we have our marbles. This one, too, it had that feeling because in the first half, Louisville was setting such a breakneck pace in the beginning. They hit 6 of their first 7 field goals, and Dell is going nuts, and he has half their points through most of the first half. And every time we get near the rim, we're getting rejected, just like we were at the tail end of our game where we lost here in Tallahassee. But we keep pace, and somehow you look at the score, and it's 20-22, and we have a chance to take the lead. But then they hit one back, and they spread the advantage back out to 5 because, of course, they do. And you're just climbing and climbing and climbing. And you find a way to have the lead at the half, and you feel like, well, how the hell did we do that?
Nice little run there, yeah. Listen, they were tough. And again, we've talked about this team's toughness all year long, and that's why shame on me for not giving them a chance to go win this game on the road because they are mentally tough, and they do find themselves always in a dogfight. They don't just roll over when they're not playing well, and when they're playing against teams that you would say have a greater complement of talented players, they find a way to stay in games. So, I should have known better than to say that they couldn't win the game. Glad that they did. Glad they proved me wrong. But most importantly, what it does for them moving forward. And if you go back and look at this game, you kudos to Phil Kofer, his 16 points. I told you I was absolutely impressed with Trent Forrest. I thought he played a great game, was really key, and hopefully this leads to greater minutes for him. But anyhow, Kofer had 16, Angola had 13, was obviously struggling with his shot and had foul trouble. Kamaji had 11 points, 4 of 6. Hey, by the way, how about Kamaji going 3 of 4 from the free throw line?
Mm-hmm. Including 2 early in the game. Again, it's small, but it adds up because it felt like Louisville was going to go on its own 16-0 run, kind of like we did last year when we played them. and he gets fouled. And you're like, well, so he did, it's not an N1. Here comes 1 for 2 at best.
Yeah.
And he hits him. You're like, oh,
all right.
Well, okay. Maybe we'll hang tough today. And it was a sign of things to come in the first half.
Beautiful. Terrence Mann, who clanks those 2 free throws. He's shooting well over 70% in ACC play from the line, but those were 2 misses that at the time you thought, well, that'll come back to hurt you. That's going to come back to haunt you. This is going to be a tough loss. But then he goes down the court, gets the defensive stop, and then, of course, that leads to a dunk in transition. He had 11 points, 5 of 9 shooting, 1 of 3 from the free throw line. But, again, I want to – by the way, C.J. Walker, 10 points. Trent Forrest, that's the guy. 10 points, 3 of 8. Not great from the field, but 4 of 6 from the free throw line. But he had 9 boards, and he's a tough kid. He's a tough kid. I love watching him play. I think – he's a guy that as he gets more confident, as you begin to see him develop, he's going to get more minutes. I think we should anyhow. I'm a big fan of what we are when he's on the floor.
Well, you talk to the coaching staff, and they'll tell you something quite simply. If he could shoot, he wouldn't be in Tallahassee. He'd be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he might be at the next level, sooner than later. And that's the reason he came here was he was a bit of a project when it came to not just free throw shooting, but just shooting from the field. When you see him pull up for a three-pointer, chances are that's actually a pump because that's not his shot. That's not his game. But a couple of huge putbacks in transition. He had that great steal, which I just don't understand how that's not continuation. If anything in this world is continuation, if there is a rule that's called continuation off of that inbound pass and he steals and he puts it back, that should be an N1 all the way. A couple of big rebounds and then some steals too. I mean, he was just all over the place when you had to have him.
2 steals, 5 assists, 9 boards. To go with the double digits in points.
A couple of free
bench.
throws, too. I mean, just situationally, he was there in all the big moments in the second half.
What this does now for Florida State is, again, we can't – obviously, everybody knows Wednesday's a big deal, and we're all going to be over there at the TLC-CC having a good time, and you don't just roll on in to the TLC-CC, not even you, Virginia, and expect to walk out with a victory. So it should be fun, obviously, but what it does for Florida State now is, A, if they are to win that game on Wednesday – I would suggest that they're going to the NCAA tournament and we can stop fretting because they're not going to lose out or something like that. So, as long as they don't just have a complete meltdown, they're going to go. If they win on Wednesday, you can put it in. You can put it in marker. I'll say, Tom, you'll feel pretty good about it.
Okay,
but
not pencil.
Not pencil. Put it in marker. But again, we're getting way ahead of ourselves because that's a tough task to beat Virginia. We'll see. But Florida State moves back with a chance to finish in the top 6 in the ACC. You add to the ledger another top 50 RPI win. And by the way, for Florida State on the year, against the RPI top 50, the Noles are now 5-3. Very impressive for a group that lost all of those points to the NBA and that length and that talent and athleticism and skill. All of that, 2 guys to the league, another guy to international basketball who could really score it. So, I mean, it's really impressive. You have now wins over, obviously, Louisville, Miami, North Carolina, Florida, Syracuse. Your losses are to Louisville, Miami, Duke. Again, the Wake loss is a bad loss, but that's your only bad loss.
Yeah, the players don't feel this way, but I'm just so excited for Wednesday's game. Because what this win does is it takes the fear, forlorn, foreboding, whatever,
of a losing streak.
I'm watching us, bleep away, our tournament chances.
Right.
That has a distinct feeling in a building.
Yeah, you walk in knowing it's like you're up against it before they ever tip off. Yeah.
But thankfully for us fans who are showing up to the TLC-CC Wednesday night,
boom.
Man, there's fearlessness. You can take your shot. You can take your shot, and what a vista indeed from the ESPN Tallahassee Corner Pocket Executive Suite.
What a vista.
But you can take your shot, and there aren't devastating consequences to coming up short. And
Let it ride,
that
guys.
lets everybody play or feel in the building a little bit more loose.
Completely agree. Have fun, man. Virginia's the number 2 team in the country. They have the number 1 RPI. They're undefeated in the ACC. They've knocked off the big boys on the road. Nobody expects you to win that game. Go out and have some damn fun against a really good team. Find out where you're at. Obviously, to pull off that upset, you're going to have to play better defense. And they played better defense in the second half of this game against Louisville, which is good news. But they'll be sky high for this game, meaning our guys. And if you're hanging around into the second half of this thing, and it's only a couple possession game one way or the other, listen, man, I've watched the TLC-CC become a factor. So that never used to be the case. We used to yearn for meaningful basketball games to be played here at the Civic Center in a sold-out, crowd, with a sold-out crowd and people caring, invested emotionally and otherwise to this game, this team. That'll happen Wednesday night. It's good for the community. It's good for the program, whether they win it or not. Now, obviously, I want to win it. We all do. But that win over Louisville, you're right, removes this dread that you would feel going into the game. You would have a sense of, we have now lost 2 straight. We're on the cusp of losing 5 straight with the matchups that we see. This is not good. I'm very concerned, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That win over Louisville, you go, play ball, man. Play ball. You were able to a large degree, I would say you were able to negate the putrid loss against Wake.
Man, Louisville played well the whole game, too.
I know. It wasn't a fluke.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It wasn't a fluke. Good on you. I'm proud of those kids. The Eagles are your Super Bowl champions. I haven't got into the numbers there. I mentioned Nick Foles, obviously, and we mentioned all of the offense in this game. There are some really interesting numbers at play here. Of course, ESPN Stats and Info. I got a lot of those things. Kind of talk about where, obviously where the Eagles go from here is to try to defend a Super Bowl championship and do so with basically the entire team, including the guy that would have been the MVP of the league had he not got hurt coming back at quarterback. And for the Patriots, they're still in that division. They're still going to go to the playoffs. They'll still make another run, but they got to find a way to get a lot better on defense. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
You know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric. That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
Here's your halftime snack, kids.
Yes!
Go-Go Squeeze. That's the best. It tastes great, it's fun, and I can toss them in my bag for practice. Then just squeeze and bam! I'm ready to get back on the field.
I always say yes to Go-Go Squeeze for the halftime snack. There's no artificial anything. Made from 100% all-natural fruit and with over 25 flavors, Go-Go Squeeze gives the kids the fuel they need to explore, play, and just be kids. Go-Go Squeeze Fruit on the Go pouches. Discover what we're made of. Find us in the applesauce aisle today.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9. Happy hour drink specials and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I am here for, yes, you want debauchery, you want gambling, yes, big bets on all games, spill money, let's be less repressed as a country around entertainment. I'm here for all of it, but you guys haven't been. And the idea that Adam Silver right now is in First Take and he's wearing a blackjack outfit and he's at a dealer's table and says, place your bets, and he wants 1% of all gambling done on basketball.
Smart, man.
It is smart, but I can't believe you guys are meeting this with a shrug of your shoulders because you love judging this bleep. Like, this will send you straight to church on Sundays just thinking about it. Usually, if Silver is in the situation that he presently finds himself in, it's not as a blackjack dealer dressed up, hey, I'm bringing you gambling and fun. It's usually the guy outside the church waving a Bible who says all evil can be found in Silver's kingdom.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening on this day after the Super Bowl. Patriots coach Bill Belichick not divulging the reason for not starting cornerback Malcolm Butler, who did start more than 98% of the defensive snaps in the regular season. All Belichick would say, they put the players on the field and game plan out there that they thought was best. ESPN's Damian Woody not buying that explanation.
You're going to try to tell us that this whole thing is about matchups. I mean, there's matchups going on all year long, and this guy was out there for all the different matchups. But now in the biggest game of the year, now you want to tell us that this is about matchups. Come on, man.
Damian Woody on Golick and Wingo. Philadelphia has scheduled the Eagles championship parade for Thursday morning. Magic forward Aaron Gordon, strained hip flexor, has withdrawn from the NBA All-Star Dunk Contest. Jazz rookie Donovan Mitchell will replace Gordon in that dunk contest. Number 17 Oklahoma and Trae Young host number 19 West Virginia tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Young remains on pace to be the first player to lead Division I in both points per game and assists per game since 1983-84.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. So, by the way, that story that you just heard on SportsCenter, and Damian Woody responding to that story about Malcolm Butler not playing in the game, well, it's twofold. First of all, obviously, everybody knows that it's not about matchups or about scheme. It's about discipline. It's about something that happened, obviously, leading up to the Super Bowl that led to Bill Belichick deciding to take one of their better defenders off the field in a matchup as critical as this. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this. You would have wanted him on the field. And Damian Woody's right to say, of course it's not, but also he's got to know, and I'll just say this, what do you want Bill Belichick to say? He's not going to come out unless he plans on cutting him today. He's not going, and he has to find out whether or not that's financially solvent. But he's going to protect his player in that situation, even in the midst of disciplining him. He's going to say that it's about, I don't know, the matchup, as opposed to saying what allegedly occurred, which was that he missed curfew and was hopped up on goofballs.
Yeah, but what's crazy to me is that he mouths off about the Patriots giving up on him in the postgame.
Bizarre.
Don't you get the drill at that point?
No self-awareness. But the head coach is going to take the high road in that situation, well, until he doesn't, and he just decides, okay, well, if that's the way you want to play it. By the way, if you're him, if you're Butler, you're doing everything in your power to ensure that he doesn't protect you. By doing that, by calling out the organization and calling out the coaches, you're now at some point going to force them to reveal the truth. And if the truth is that you missed curfew and that you had done some other things to lead to them having to decide to bench you for this game, discipline you for this game, you don't want that coming out. So that's pretty damn dumb.
It's incredibly dumb.
Unbelievably dumb. That said, would we suspect anything else, right? Or expect anything else from a guy who would miss, not curfew. I can live with curfew. People miss curfew. It happens. No big deal. But if the reason you missed curfew leading up to the Super Bowl was that you were high on whatever, and those are the rumors, right? Those are the stories that are on the interwebs today, was that he was on drugs, period. I don't know what he was on. I mean, I've read 6 different reports, but they all are alleging that he was either high on weed, high on something else, high in general. That's why he was out and he missed curfew. It's not the curfew, it's why you missed curfew. Here's the deal. If you're doing that before the Super Bowl, you got really big issues, and I can't put you on the field.
Yeah, totally agree.
It's the Super Bowl.
And this isn't even one of those, circumstances where we say, really, for weed, right? This is what we're going to punish them. No, this is Super Bowl week. Tighten up. Are you kidding me?
I'm going to need you to buck up here, soldier. We got a pretty big game. Listen, if the guy's got a problem and I don't know what it is, I want him to get help. But good Lord, actually, Belichick did him a favor.
Well,
it's rare that I come to Belichick's aid here, but what's the coach going to do other than roll him? And he's only going to roll him if they plan on cutting him. If you need him around next year and you think he's an important player on your defense, then you're not going to tell the press that the guy, missed curfew because he was hopped up on goofballs.
Right, and then that's what it's got to be, because you dress him too. So he's front and center, and there was a camera on him, and they got the shot of him crying during the national anthem or whatever it was pregame. And you do play him on special teams. I mean, that's it feels like a half measure, unless what you're saying is true, that they need him in the future, and he's a part of the next, year or two's plans.
Yeah.
So you got to.
It's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise you'd send him home.
Right. Or you just wouldn't dress him and just say whatever.
You know what? Put your jeans on, go watch in the box, my man. You're done. That's a weird sidebar story, but I've heard a lot of people today say, oh, well, Belichick's lying. Well, man, listen. There are he has lied in the past about a lot of things, and some of those things were worth investigating and pointing out. This ain't one of them. This would be, if from the perspective of if you're on the player's side, and I often am, I would tell you that he ought to be thankful that Belichick didn't come out and say, well, on the eve of the most important game of the year, certainly, this is what he did, and I couldn't trust him. So we disciplined him, and this is what we did. Instead, he said it was about matchups.
How'd you feel about the catches? The 2 of them.
Well, I was shocked. They given the rules these days, I was really shocked at the one in the back of the end zone with the 1 foot going out of bounds as he's changing the ball over to get a better grip of it. The NFL is so insanely stupid that I thought for sure they would overturn that and say that that wasn't a catch. Based on what I would call a catch in the real world, that's a catch. He's got it long enough. It's to his body before he switches it over. I'm not worried about all that. But they didn't because the call on the field stood. They said it was a touchdown, so they didn't see enough to overturn it. Frankly, I've seen them overturn it for far less. We've watched that happen.
Yeah, that to me of the two last night, the Ertz one was easier. He was a runner,
He's a runner. It's very easy.
3 steps in the dive, which was going to happen. And Collinsworth, was he going to dive if he wasn't tackled there, or was he going to the ground?
Collinsworth was really trying hard to make it a more dramatic play than it needed to be, other than the fact that it's a big moment in the game. Here's the thing. What we're robbed of, and I tweeted about this at somebody last night, what we're robbed of here is the immediacy and the thrill of a touchdown being a touchdown and our ability to celebrate it in the moment while it happens, not 5 minutes later after they reviewed it from 47 different angles. Everybody who's watched a game of football or played football or even in any way casually tunes in on occasion to watch a football game knows that's a catch. He's a runner. What are we doing? The second he crosses the goal line, we're done here. There's nothing else to talk about. And yet, in the Super Bowl, in that moment, what were we doing? Talking about that nonsense, watching it from 40 different angles. And because the NFL has so bastardized what a catch is and what certain rules are and how they're applied and the spirit of those rules shattered on a regular basis, we weren't quite sure what they were going to do. That's how bad it is, that a guy can catch a ball, take 3 steps, make a move, dive across the goal line, and we're not real sure because we saw the Steelers game.
Yeah, and clearly whoever was calling the shots in the truck for the NBC broadcast said, let's go back to it like later, and let's go back to it again and again and again. They lived, especially on the Ertz play, for the next 5 minutes.
It drives me nuts.
But to me, I thought the play in the back of the end zone was the watershed moment for the changes that are coming to the rule. I feel like they got out in front of the change to the rule. That's what that felt like. Like next year's rule traveled back in time for this call. Because if you go by the letter of the law, it's not a catch. If you go by the letter of the law, and it's not even one of those. Oh, this is BS. That is not a catch. I got into a huge argument with my dad about this. He's like, "That's a catch." I'm like, "Dad, you're living in 1970 something again." I said, right. the rule is the rule. I hate the rule. Yeah,
but according to the rule, that's not a catch.
But that's not even the Jesse James rule. Like that to me is if you're going to go by severity of BS calls in NFL lore. That's probably about a 6 on a scale to 1 to 10.
Sure.
The Jesse James one's at 10, Des Bryant's at 9.5. That type of thing.
Right.
So to me, that one was the one that they said it stands, which is the cop-out call, which is, not so sure when there is evidence that you can overturn that if you want to. There's plenty of evidence. If you want to overturn it, you can. Yeah. It's not about, we didn't have the right camera angle. You had plenty of it's the Super Bowl.
But this is also why people get so mad at the league, because what's a catch anymore is debated every which way to Sunday. And on these replays, where you see definitive evidence, where you have what you need in order to overturn a call, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You're not real sure when they're going to and when they're not going to. And if there was a level of consistency there, I think people would have, people would grin and bear it a little bit more. But because there isn't, because they can't even decide within their own rules, upon watching 47 different angles, what is and isn't, then we never know. And we're robbed of any sort of fluidity. It drives me nuts watching these games in that way. Now, this game was entertaining last night. It was a lot of fun, especially since I didn't have a staunch rooting interest. I ended up pulling for the Eagles. As I say, you can't watch a game without finding yourself rooting for somebody. I ended up pulling for the Eagles just because I think the Foles story is good, and I love that Peterson was very aggressive as a coach, and I admired that they weren't going to back off, and they kept their foot on the gas. I wanted to see them rewarded. But the point is, I wanted to see more than anything else a really entertaining football game, and we did get that. And by and large, it was well officiated.
One thing I'm finding as I get older is, and I headed into this game saying, if New England wins, it's like the house winning. It's not a big deal. It's like Alabama winning. It doesn't really change anything. It's like an idle game, idle season, whatever. I'm putting less stock into how much I dislike the fans or the history of the franchise when I watch a game, and I just look at the team that I'm watching.
That particular team, they have a lot of likable players on that team. Yeah,
I don't think it's ever going to happen for, say, Florida or Miami on Saturdays.
Nope,
but
never.
In the NFL, the Bucs and the Eagles have some bad blood, and Tampa and Philly have some
in
serious
general.
history.
Yeah, they do.
Across sports.
Yeah.
Hockey being, some major
baseball
history.
in the World Series, obviously. Right. The NFL, yes, shutting down the vet and opening up the new stuff.
Yeah, serious history. But that team is just so damn likable. There's a likable defiance in them. You know what I mean? It's like that healthy kind.
Yeah, it's a likable coach. It's a likable team. It's a good story too. And first of all, I love LeGarrette Blount. I have ever since he punched that joker at Boise State.
Yeah.
And I still think I go back and watch it like once a month just to laugh at that kid getting punched in the face.
The Bucks traded for Jeff Demps.
Oh, I'm sure we traded him for nothing, which is Jeff Demps. But that's man.
It's just I walked into this game.
Chris Long's likable.
I sat down on the couch and I thought, all right, let's not let Philly get one. Let's not let these fans win one. Even though Matthew, I said I'm not going to root against them hard. By the second drive, I'm rooting for Philadelphia.
Oh yeah,
I can't believe the words coming out of my mouth. But it's just that team. It's such a healthy thing for the league to have a team like that for a lot of reasons, and one of which is
the way they call the game.
The
college offense, if you will, and that's not a knock. I used to make that as a knock. It's not. They do all of that stuff, man. There's a lot of eye candy to that offense.
We don't have to have every game on Sunday look like that. You know what I mean? And it set records for yards, I think, both in regular and postseason. If I saw that graphic right in the third or fourth quarter.
Numbers are insane.
It is insane. But it's just the way they play the game shows that Saturdays can make it to Sundays. Football can be exciting on Sundays. And that team's attitude was not – I see why people would hate Jacksonville, even though they haven't won a thing. Because their defiance is,
I like their defiance, actually.
I do, too.
Yeah, I think
but you can understand
bold.
why people –
Sure. Jalen Ramsey, if he didn't play here –
right.
It would be difficult to like, although I think I would find myself liking him because he is brash and he doesn't care.
Sure. And even still, you hear, well, nobody believed in us all season long, in the postgame. But there's something about Phillies that's just refreshing. Like, they have a defiance I like it. I bought into it. And by the end of the game, it's like Rocky IV. I came in rooting for Drago, and now I'm rooting for Rocky by the end of the movie.
The teams combined for 1,151 yards, the most in any game in NFL history, regular season or postseason. There was one sack in the game, tied for the fewest ever in a Super Bowl. That sack was, of course, the biggest play of the game as Brandon Graham forced a Tom Brady fumble with 2:16 to play. And the Eagles were leading at that moment 38-33. Foles, by the way, for his part, boy, was he good. 373 yards, 3 touchdowns, in addition to becoming the first quarterback in Super Bowl history with a receiving touchdown. He was named the MVP. He started 3 regular season games. He's the MVP of the Super Bowl. He is the third quarterback to start a Super Bowl after making 3 or fewer starts in a season. By the way, all 3 won the game when that happened. So usually you're on a really good team, obviously. And Tom Brady, for his part, you and I were talking off the air. We were just talking in general about this game, and I think we were texting last night. You brought up the point. In a weird way, this further cements Brady's legacy and his greatness because I know it's a strip sack. I know it's a fumble. Nobody really blames him for that. It's a sack. I mean, what are you going to do? He didn't see it coming. The man had 505 passing yards in a loss. 505. I mean, I've been telling you, I'd be looking over at Belichick like, my man, defensive wizard, huh? I just threw for 505 yards. We can't win this game against that defense?
We didn't punt. Then we lost. Like, if I'm Jim Schwartz last night, I go,
ooh, yeah.
Boy, nobody will be talking about me after this game, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, the 33 points also scored by New England are the most ever by a team to lose the Super Bowl. So, he set records. 505 passing yards in a Super Bowl game in which they score 33 points, and he loses. And I'm coughing.
I thought you were done with the hour. I was about to pot the music up.
I was about to. You could get ready to pot it up. I was trying to simultaneously turn, twist.
That was a panic cough. I hate those. They flared up.
It hurts. Hour number 2, forthcoming.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in Southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from LoCash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Bring in your old Milwaukee tool, and Cornerstone will get you a brand new one. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, the largest Milwaukee selection in the area. Big store pricing with local service. 1110 Stuckey Avenue and 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays 8 a.m. to noon. Online at ctf.nu.
Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. As most of you know, it's that time of year again. Tax refund time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that every single car dealer in town will be trying to shout the loudest for you to bring in your tax refund. Bring in your W-2s, and they will put you in a car. A used car that is nothing like what you really want. Well, guess what? Kraft Nissan's New For You program is an absolute game changer. We don't need your tax return. We don't need to see your W-2. And absolutely the best of all, we will not sell you an overpriced used car. And that is exactly why at Kraft Nissan, we call it the New For You program. We will plug your information into our system, which approves 4 out of 5 people with damage credit, and at the end of the day, you will drive away in a brand new Nissan, with or without a tax refund. You know the deal. Recently divorced? No problem. Recent bankruptcy? No problem. Credit score under 600? No problem. And it's not tied to taxes. Come see how easy it is for you to drive away in a new Kraft Nissan. And remember, if you don't see the Kraft tag in your car, you paid too much. Way too much. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9. Happy hour drink specials and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
During Aaron's anniversary sale, you're going to be blown away. Get big lease-to-own savings on an LG 65-inch 4K TV, an Amana laundry pair, bedrooms, living rooms, and so much more. Plus, get 6 months same as cash with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. All month long, come to a participating Aaron's store and get 6 months same as cash. Or visit Aaron's.com during Aaron's anniversary sale. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
It's Golick and Wingo.
I did hurt my shoulder walking the dogs yesterday. In the woods, Harry was going to take off, my young pug, and as he took off, the leash was wrapped around my legs. I tried to be athletic, figured I'd hop out of it. It caught me on the side of the ankle. I fell on my elbow and jammed my shoulder badly. It's a shoulder that only had 3 operations. So
how many did the other shoulder have?
7, so that's the bad shoulder.
Okay.
Golick and Wingo, weekday mornings from 7 to 10 on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening on this day after the Super Bowl. Patriots coach Bill Belichick not divulging the reason for not starting cornerback Malcolm Butler, who did start more than 98% of the defensive snaps in the regular season. All Belichick would say, they put the players on the field and game plan out there that they thought was best. ESPN's Damian Woody not buying that explanation.
You're going to try to tell us that this whole thing is about matchups. I mean, there's matchups going on all year long, and this guy was out there for all the different matchups. But now in the biggest game of the year, now you want to tell us that this is about matchups. Come on, man.
Damian Woody on Golick and Wingo. Philadelphia has scheduled the Eagles championship parade for Thursday morning. Magic forward Aaron Gordon, strained hip flexor, has withdrawn from the NBA All-Star Dunk Contest. Jazz rookie Donovan Mitchell will replace Gordon in that dunk contest. Number 17 Oklahoma and Trae Young host number 19 West Virginia tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Young remains on pace to be the first player to lead Division I in both points per game and assists per game since 1983-84.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Good Monday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything. If you do, we got you covered. We'll post all 3 hours, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. We'll also you can find it in the app. If you get the WTSM app for your phone, for your mobile devices, you're good to go. You'll find the archived audio there. It's on YouTube as well. You can watch us perform our duties on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. And it's also on Twitter at 979 ESPN Radio. If you follow that, you will see us periscoping as well. It's Monday. That means it's time to talk to our good buddy, Ira Schoffel, warchant.com, the website. Hello, Ira. How the hell are you, buddy?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing very well, man. That was an entertaining game last night, eh?
It was. It was kind of bizarre. Like I couldn't. It's not at all what I expected, and it really kind of makes me reevaluate my thoughts on the NFL because I haven't enjoyed it as much in recent years as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But man, if that's how we're going to play now, it kind of changes things a little bit.
Yeah, I'd prefer somebody to make a stop here and there.
Yeah,
but
occasionally.
Occasionally we got to get a stop in there. They never touched Nick Foles, and thus they lose the game, which is fine. They being the Patriots. I didn't have real rooting interest here. I ended up rooting for Philadelphia, for Knowles, and all that good stuff. So I was kind of hoping for those guys to be able to take home a title. But nonetheless, yeah, enjoyable game. Hey, listen, so a couple of things here. We're closing in on a huge game Wednesday for Florida State against Virginia. First, let's look back, though. That was as good an answer for those of us rooting for, supporting, watching, hoping for Florida State basketball to give us, or that I've seen in a long time after a dreadful performance against Wake. I guess I'll ask you, did you think there was any chance? Because I didn't. I was wrong. I give those guys all the credit in the world. Did you think there was any chance they'd bounce back and get a win against Louisville on the road?
I didn't going into it. But I'll tell you, man, honestly, as the game went on, you just saw the way they were playing and how they kept kind of coming at Louisville, no matter what Louisville did. Because I thought Louisville played well. It's not like they just laid an egg. I thought as the game went on, I started thinking, man, they're going to win this game. And really the whole second half, until Mann missed the 2 free throws, the whole second half, I was convinced they were going to win that game. But that play right there, man. And again, we talked about, sometimes as parents, and you have kids going into sports and things like that. What a great lesson! And I talked to my daughter about it after the game. Terrence Mann misses those 2 free throws, and man, he's just got to be devastated. He has a chance to lock up that game. Instead, puts it right back in Louisville's court, and then comes down and gets the huge block to save the win. I just thought that was a great. It's just kind of indicative of this team and him for him to come back on the end of the court and make the defensive play of the game and save the win. So yeah, man, it was real impressive. Who knows how they'll look Wednesday against Virginia, but it was definitely impressive.
Well, we were talking that it takes a lot of the pressure off of Wednesday's game. I mean, look, you want to win it, it'd be great. Obviously, Virginia is very good, undefeated in the conference, and the difference being this year, Tony Bennett's club can actually score the basketball, and it's not just a 40-38 type stranglehold on things. But the point is, if you had lost that Louisville game, you'd be in a losing streak. and you'd be staring another loss right in the face, and people would have that sense as they stepped into the building on Wednesday that maybe they were watching the hopes and wishes for this team disappear of an NCAA tournament berth. Now you kind of go in with a pretty clean slate, feeling good about your resume, and who knows, maybe you pull off the upset.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's you're playing with house money, but you definitely it changes everything. Because like you said, you would have been coming off of back-to-back losses, including that Wake loss that just really kind of devastated everybody. Then if you're looking at that game as a likely loss against Virginia, it just changes your perceptions. And I thought, we saw on social media earlier today where the FSU announced the student tickets sold out faster than they have all year. The fans have been really supportive of this team all season. They've embraced it. And, you wondered if what happened against Wake Forest would kind of diminish that. But clearly the Louisville game kind of picked it back up. And, I think Corey said that, if you were going to pick one of those two games to win, as crazy as it would have sounded, you almost would rather have this Louisville win because it's a game that most of us wouldn't have expected them to realistically win. But it does. It more than makes up for the loss to Wake Forest.
Can I ask you some recruiting stuff? I think a lot of people are obviously very excited about what Willie Taggart and this group has done to salvage a recruiting class. We know he's gone that far, that there's no going back there. He's already done enough to make this a top 25, top 20 class. How much better does it get? Do they get the James Foster kid? Are they going to be able to, are we going to see maybe an Anthony Grant or somebody like that? Or is he off to Tennessee? Maybe the Harrison kid. All these guys, we're all excited to find out what's going to happen. Your thoughts on what you're seeing over there at War Chant with recruiting and Willie Taggart's group?
Yeah, I think they are going to finish strong. I don't know if I get all those guys. I do think that James Foster, the quarterback out of Alabama, I think there's a real good chance that FSU gets him. If you just look at the way, if you just read the tea leaves, if you didn't know anything else, just the fact that they desperately need a quarterback in this class, and they didn't go after some of these other quarterbacks that probably were available. There were some other quarterbacks they could have gotten the mix with. The fact that they backed off of those, I think, makes you believe that James Foster is a guy that has already maybe let them know that he's going to be coming in a part of this class. And he's a real talented kid. Rivals doesn't have him rated as high as some other people do, but I think he's no question he's a real talented dual threat kind of guy. Would figure to be a real good fit in Willie Taggart's offense. And then you talk about some of these other guys. Trayshawn Harrison, the big receiver out of Seattle, would be huge because they've receiver and linebacker were two huge areas of need, defensive end as well. And this receiver class is going to be really big. Now, I think that there's a couple guys that, if you're a skeptic, you might say these are reaches. The kid that committed yesterday, Keyshawn.
Yeah, the three-star kid, yep.
Yeah, out of Pensacola, Keyshawn Helton is a guy that nobody even knew about a couple weeks ago. Or excuse me, not that they didn't know about, but he didn't have any big offers. Florida State comes in. He's a nephew of Derek Brooks. He's a really athletic kid, but he's not very big. He's only 5'9", smaller, kind of a slot receiver kind of guy. Jimbo Fisher was not big on recruiting those kinds of guys. He did take one or two of them, but rarely. He wanted the bigger 6'2", 6'3" guys. But I think you could make a case that in a spread offense where you've got guys trying to get guys in space underneath, stretching teams horizontally, maybe a guy like that makes more sense. So I think what's going to be interesting about this class, and something that we probably won't know the answer to for a year or two down the road, is how many of these guys really are what Willie Taggart wants, and how many of them are guys realistically he knew he could get in this class, because some of these guys down the stretch are probably going to be guys that aren't the big 4-star superstar 5-star recruits, but they're going to be guys that he can get to fill out this class. They may still be great players. We'll have to see based on their evaluations, but I think the big name guys for the most part are already in. The Jaden Woodbays and Dennis Briggs and some of those guys. He's already landed a bunch of those guys.
It's exciting, especially if they go ahead and get a Trayshawn Harrison, like you just mentioned, and obviously a Malcolm Lamar and guys like that. If you get a Harrison, everybody, for those that don't know, just a reminder, that was the kid that Willie got to commit to Oregon, and as soon as Willie decided that he was going to chase his dream job and was offered the Florida State job, then the kid decommitted. So we all just kind of assumed, right? But he's a big-time talent, and trying to get that guy to go across the country because he's from Seattle. So trying to get him to go across the country, I think we all kind of, a little trepidation, but it looks like he is going to sign, and that's a big deal. So, yeah, and by the way, I agree with you in terms of the size and what Jimbo didn't want to do with some of the littler guys. Also, the kid that just signed, you mentioned, special teams is always an option because we all remember how good Greg Reed was.
Yeah, no question. Another guy that can help as a return specialist, which is important. Obviously, FSU's really struggled there the last couple of years. The idea of the 6'3", 6'2" special teams return guys didn't seem to pan out as well as Jimbo had hoped. But, I think Harrison is a guy that they've got a great chance with. And look, Willie Taggart's offense is appealing, and that's what attracted him to Oregon in the first place. He wanted to play in Taggart's offense. So if you think that's what you want to do, coming across country is a big deal. But they've already got 2 kids from California, the tight end Cameron McDonald and Jade Woodbay. This will be another third West Coast guy, which is interesting. And and again, I think that overall, I think people are going to be really happy with this class. We have them. Rivals now has them in the top 15. That'll go up some. Again, I don't think it's going to shoot up much more because I don't think they're going to be getting any 5-star guys or anything like that. But if you get a quarterback, if you finish off this receiver class with a couple more of these guys, and then finish off the linebackers, you have, as you said, there's 2 more Armwood kids that they probably
the Malcolm Lamar kid who they should get. Yeah,
and then the linebacker James Miller.
Yep.
You go at a school like Armwood, which again would say really positive things about the future. That's a school that always has a ton of talent. FSU's never done anything there. If they got 3 kids in the same class from that school, I think it would really be positive, not just for this year, but it says what you might be able to do going forward.
All right, brother, I will see you Wednesday at the basketball game, and I'll see you again on Thursday when we do headlines. Always a pleasure. Be well.
Thanks, Jeff. See you, man.
All right, take care. That's irishfellwarchant.com. Yeah, now, just some of those names that we were talking about. He mentioned James Miller, the other Armwood kid, linebacker at 6'1", 225. Moreover, I like my linebackers I want to have a guy that I think is a little crazy. And I don't know if James Miller's crazy or not. I don't know if James is a bit of a psychopath or not, but it's okay if he is. I root for that. I think your linebackers got to be a little cuckoo.
Well, what we do know, besides the fact that we hope that we have some cuckoo linebackers coming in.
I'm rooting for James to be a little crazy.
Is that Willie's press conference is scheduled tentatively for
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock on Wednesday. And that does jive with what we've seen of our signing day announcements for players here. Armwood has its ceremony. That's right, Florida State and Armwood.
How about that?
Has its ceremony at 10 a.m. We already know that we're getting at least one Armwood product.
Damn right.
But Malcolm Lamar, the defensive end, and James Miller obviously both announced somewhere in that 10 to 11 a.m. window. And if you look across the board at Florida State targets, you got another one at 10, 10:45, 11 a.m., 11:30, 1 p.m. So I would guess, just to guess here.
A few minutes later than 1.
Few minutes later than 1 because Jordan Young, who is Tennessee, Florida State, that seems to be the 2 competing forces. He's a 1 o'clock announcement. But it would fall in line that if Willie has, his druthers, he set that 1 p.m. timeline because he knows that everybody is going to be announcing and either in-house or have chosen to go elsewhere before 1 p.m. on Wednesday. So it's going to be an active morning. Even though we had a lot of kids say yes already, sign for the early signing period or commit early on, like Thompson did and Peters did, there's still going to be a hefty amount of kids deciding on Florida State or somebody else between about 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Wednesday.
Jordan Young, a kid who's already a soft commit to Tennessee, but that some have projected going to Florida State as a wide receiver, 6'2", 190, and right up the road in Georgia is where he's from, so that'd be a big deal. Get another big receiver in here, and we could all celebrate that. I am scheduled to speak with Willie Taggart on Wednesday on the show for show purposes. He'll join us. We're still hammering out time, but it looks good. I know we're going to talk to him. And I haven't talked to Willie since I did the interview when he got hired, and obviously I had a chance briefly to talk with him at his press conference. But, he's been a busy guy since we last spoke.
I wonder if on Thursday and Friday he'll just be hibernating because they have a junior day a couple weeks away. They're bringing in the kids already later this month.
Yeah, and by the way, for the schools that had their head coach in place, obviously, and weren't transitioning, a lot of people are utilizing this time for those juniors. That's where the emphasis in recruiting is for the schools that have largely made up their class with the early signing period. That's what the early signing period did. It allowed coaches, once cementing that class, and in some cases they got almost all, if not all the players to commit in the early signing period. If you're in that boat, then you can commit to the younger guys, the guys that you're going to be recruiting for next year. We're not in that boat. We got to get guys now. So we're going, no matter what he does, and he's done a great job, him and his staff, we are a little behind the 8 ball because of the transition. But you're going to be when you're making this kind of a transition. That's okay. But other guys got a head start on some of those other guys. And you mentioned the junior day coming up. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Payments and exceptional offers like 0% APR financing. Hassle? No way. Haggle? Never. At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, you'll deal with people you know, like, and trust, and get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJuniorBuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Did you know that one major advantage of propane cooking is that it offers more precise temperature control than electric? That means perfectly cooked meals every time. Propane also heats your home faster and maintains the warmth longer than electric or fuel oil, allowing you to potentially reduce your energy bill. If you'd like to know more, contact AmeriGas Propane right here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
At Advance Auto Parts, we offer you the quality parts you want and knowledge you need, and we're always looking for ways to help you save. Right now at Advance, premium oil brands like Castrol, Mobil, Valvoline, and Pennzoil are all on sale. Choose 5 quarts and an oil filter starting as low as $23.99 for your oil change. Only at Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts stores. Advance Auto Parts, where oil is priced like it should be. See store for details. Limit 5 oil change specials per customer. Valvoline bottles may vary by store.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right, more watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with Easy Laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's Easy Laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
This is The Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show. On 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I figured it would happen at some point. You and I have speculated about this, Tom. The ways by which we measure the delivery of a sporting event and how many people consume it and how has shifted greatly. NBC touted, according to the Sports Business Journal, a total audience delivery. That's a new metric.
Well, of course.
It's the total audience delivery.
We call it TAD.
Hey, everybody. Rating of 106 million viewers. That included streams via NBCSports.com, the NBC Sports app, NBC.com, TVs everywhere, the NFL.com, and its app. NBC says, combining all that good stuff, what you get is 106 million, and NBC called that Super Bowl the most live-streamed Super Bowl ever, which drives me nuts because next year's will be, and the year after that will be, and the year after that will be. Of course, that's the way it works.
Did they do this in the 50s? This is the most watched on television event, and they did it every single year?
Oh, man. With an average AMA, that's average minute audience, of over 2.2 million viewers, the live stream peaked at 3.1 million concurrent streams.
Ooh, okay.
Well, concurrent streams. There it is.
Sounds like
yes.
Wrigley Field.
That's right. I'm going to say that from now on, Tom, whenever we're at a stadium of some sort. Hey, hold on to my beer. I've got to go make concurrent streams with the other patrons at the ballpark.
It's the future, man, and it's going to be. Just get used to it. ESPN PR, every chance it gets, is going to hit you over the head with those. Obviously, we follow them for obvious reasons. Sometimes they put out some, public releases that are of note to, our listeners.
That's right.
But they will brag on some stream numbers. Good Lord, with the stream numbers.
All day long.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Justin Timberlake's performance?
I thought it was workmanlike. If
boring is what you thought, is what that sounds like.
It wasn't a whole lot of singing. It was more
dancing.
dancing.
A lot of lip syncing.
A lot of,
yeah.
And he's moving all over the place, and he's dancing. I mean,
he's dancing. That's fine.
It was hard.
I appreciated that he gave up any pretense of singing. I mean, it was just, we're going to dance.
Well, and the mixing in the beginning gave that away, too.
Yeah.
When he was walking out up the stairs.
Yeah, and there's he's...
Mike Levels!
Yeah,
hello!
Yeah. It was tough.
But, he had to walk a lot of places, do a lot of dance moves. It was more of a performance in difficulty degree.
Yes.
He didn't do a whole lot of, I'm going to give 1.5 minutes to this great hit in my career.
No. That's whatever. I'm not that kind of a pop music fan. That's not my thing. But within the genre, obviously, he's a talented person. I know that. I just don't. Listen, you got to appeal in mass to people. You're not going to have Wilco out there, okay? So I get it. My taste in music is not going to be what they're catering towards. And listen, I thought What's-His-Face was incredible the year he did it.
Bruno.
Yeah,
Bruno Mars.
He was awesome. Well, because he played the damn instruments and sang. You could tell he was singing.
Well, he's a better dancer, he's a better singer, and he's a better musician.
Right.
You know, so that's the hard part here for Justin is like you're trying to pull the same act, and especially with the piano, like the same look as what Bruno did.
No, but Bruno with the drums was a smart move right off the beginning, right from the outset. You're like,
get the
that's
adrenaline
what I'm talking
out.
about. Here we go.
It's like getting your quarterback hit.
Right,
That's what you do with Bruno.
Anyhow, I don't get all into the, every year right after the Super Bowl, the discussion, talking point on Sports Talk Radio everywhere beyond the game is, of course, the halftime show, halftime music, and then, of course, the ads. And on this show, we rarely, if ever, even go over any of those just because you probably don't need any more of that by the time you get to me at 3 o'clock. I got you. But I was just curious. It's more – I'm not saying you like that, but you like that more than I do.
Oh, sure. No, I'm a JT fan. He's got a lot of good numbers there in his career. But the whole thing is it was like, a 10, 15-second remix mashup instead of just pick three. Pick three and stick to those and then move to the piano and play 2 more. The Prince thing was forced, obviously, because you saw the reports from this weekend is that they were going to have a hologram.
Yeah.
They were going to have a full hologram of Prince.
What happened?
And well, he in his life when he was living said that that's the dumbest thing in the world. If I live long enough to collaborate with somebody, then I'll collaborate with him. But
Otherwise,
I don't want a hologram.
Yeah. So then they realized,
So those close to him, once it was leaking out, that
they said, we're not doing that.
Correct. So that's why they got the big sheet, and then they just put like the music video of him on the big sheet in the sky.
I can always see Chappelle.
Yeah, well, that's pancakes.
Yeah, I was completely indifferent about it. I don't listen. I hate that there's no way for anybody, whether it's a genre I do like or musician I do like or hate, it doesn't matter. I really feel like there's almost no way to win. Bruno won. U2 won.
Yeah, I thought Lady Gaga was all right last year. It was better than this one.
It was whatever, right?
But this was on a scale of 1 to 10, 6.5, 7. I mean, it was what it was. It was a high degree of difficulty. He's not 85 years old. He can move around a little bit.
Yeah,
he can, well, of course, from the NSYNC days, so he's still got those
he
skills.
Can dance, yeah, sure.
And he's kicking the microphone around and stuff.
I think what ends up happening is that if you're of the mindset you'd like to see somebody actually perform, like a song, like sing it.
Right.
Like I need to know you can sing, which we know he can, but I'm saying I wanted you to do that.
Right, but he devoted 10 seconds because he didn't have his breath,
right.
And then
I'm
he's
like, man, don't do
wheezing
that.
while he's playing the
just
piano.
Screw it then. Screw it. I mean, just lip sync the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to give me this little 10 seconds of, hey, how you doing out there?
Well, that's what I was saying to my girlfriend when he's playing the piano. I'm like, is he out of gas? She goes, no, he just doesn't know how to play the piano and sing at the same time. That was her take on it, because he had to think and sing. Whereas Bruno, like, he'll look at you, he'll mug, like, hey.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm singing a ballad for you. Justin's like, I got to look at the keys.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Yeah. All right. So anyhow, I think by and large nobody was angry.
Yeah. It got us from A to B, didn't it?
It was just sort of a, all right. I want Slayer.
You want the selfie thing? Come on, man. That was a nice move at the end.
The kid.
Yeah, there it is.
I was like, is the kid's camera not working? Why are we still doing this? Why are we
like
still doing
the guy behind him with the two?
Yeah, like we're taking 47 pictures here. I can't believe that hadn't been, organized ahead of time, right? I mean, he walked right to that kid.
Right. I'm sure he was handpicked.
I was going to say.
Focus groups like that kid. The braces and all.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, perfect. Jeff Cameron, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Superlube, for better gas mileage and a longer lasting engine.
How I love to superlube my car, yes sir.
As utility customers continue to use more energy to offset the recent cold weather, the City of Tallahassee offers you a few tips to help you save energy, water, and money. Sign up today for a free energy audit. After the audit, they'll provide recommendations for energy and water-saving improvements, and it's all free. Take advantage of the Winter Relief Assistance Program, or WRAP. This alternative payment program allows all residential and non-demand small business utility customers to carry over up to 25% of their utility bill in January and February to the following month's bill. To request this option, customers should call 891-4968 after they receive their bill. Try switching to natural gas. The City of Tallahassee offers rebates on natural gas appliances. To find out if natural gas is available in your area, visit talgov.com/YOU. Check out the City of Tallahassee's Ceiling Insulation Grant Program. The city may pay up to 80% of the installation's cost, up to $400. Having an energy-saving winter is easy with all of these great products and services. Call 891-4U. That's 891-4968 to learn more and be winter ready.
Enjoy Bud Light with your friends in the Pit of Misery. Enter to win 4 tickets to a FSU basketball game for you and your friends. Enjoy complimentary Bud Lights and cheer on the Seminoles from the Pit of Misery. Visit Facebook.com/Tri-Eagle Sales to enter to win. The winner will receive 4 tickets to a FSU basketball game, complimentary Bud Lights, and a Dilly Dilly prize pack. 3 winners will be chosen. Who would you take to the Pit of Misery? Dilly Dilly! Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly.
Fox and Stag, Tallahassee's premier craft cocktail bar, located in the Manor at Midtown on Thomasville Road, invites you to spend Valentine's Day with them. Chef Sergio has crafted a 3-course tapas-style meal for 2, including a bottle of red or white wine of your choice. It promises to be a night to remember. Spots are limited, so message them on Facebook to reserve yours now. Mention this ad to receive $5 off your bill. Walk-ins are always welcome to enjoy the daily menu, plus a surprise or 2. Fox and Stag, open 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Dance to your own beat this Valentine's Day. Purchase $699 or more at Hellsberg Diamonds and get a free Mega Blast waterproof speaker plus power-up charger with built-in Amazon Alexa, a $339.98 value. Hellsberg quality, style, and selection make it easy to find that perfect something, and this incredible speaker makes it a blast. So hurry into Hellsberg Diamonds and dance out with this unbeatable offer while supplies last.
Meet Zelle, a new way to make money flow. I'll get back Steve, who covered tickets to the show. Pay my sister, who bought my flight, where I sat next to a baby that sang all night. With Zelle, banks have my back. Money's protected. Safe funds to family and friends as expected.
Nice.
I'll pay my brother to cover the cost of the golf clubs I borrowed and totally lost.
It's all good.
The new way to send money from your banking app, Zelle. This is how money moves. More info at ZellePay.com.
Must have a bank account in the U.S. to use Zelle. Transactions between enrolled users usually take minutes.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening on this day after the Super Bowl. Patriots coach Bill Belichick not divulging the reason for not starting cornerback Malcolm Butler, who did start more than 98% of the defensive snaps in the regular season. All Belichick would say, they put the players on the field and game plan out there that they thought was best. ESPN's Damian Woody not buying that explanation.
You're going to try to tell us that this whole thing is about matchups? I mean, there's matchups going on all year long, and this guy was out there for all the different matchups, but now in the biggest game of the year, now you want to tell us that this is about matchups. Come on, man.
Damian Woody on Golick and Wingo. Philadelphia has scheduled the Eagles championship parade for Thursday morning. Magic forward Aaron Gordon, strained hip flexor, has withdrawn from the NBA All-Star Dunk Contest. Jazz rookie Donovan Mitchell will replace Gordon in that dunk contest. Number 17 Oklahoma and Trae Young host number 19 West Virginia tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Young remains on pace to be the first player to lead Division I in both points per game and assists per game since 1983-84.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
To 97.9 ESPN Radio. Eagles win the Super Bowl. The last time they won a title playing the game of football, certainly the Super Bowl didn't exist. The president was Eisenhower. There were only 13 NFL teams. Bill Belichick was 8 years old.
There were only 13 colonies.
It was the first season the Patriots had played in the AFL. And nonetheless, it is a championship for them, and they did so as an underdog in every game they played. They joined the New York Giants in 2007 and the Oakland Raiders in 1980.
And when they did what they did to Minnesota, the pick six obviously gets it all started for them.
And then goodnight, Irene.
When they didn't let up, I was convinced, given what we knew New England to be, that the wrong team was favored in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they're going to win it, you can get Brady, and they almost, 500 yards. Good Lord.
He had himself a night.
But think about it this way. He throws for 5 Bills, and they still win by 8.
I know. And it's, again, the byproduct of getting absolutely no pressure on Nick Foles, who just picked them apart. And, again, earlier in the year we watched New England's defense struggle, and we saw a defense that was susceptible to the big play. In this game, really, the Eagles could kind of do whatever they wanted. Both teams actually moved the ball relatively easy all night long. I mentioned earlier in the show the 1,151 yards, most combined total yards in any game in NFL history. Any game in NFL history. 874 with most combined passing yards in a postseason game in NFL history. 505 Tom Brady's pass yards you just referenced. Most in a postseason game ever. In any postseason game for anybody of all time, and he loses. 33 Patriots points, most ever by a losing team in the Super Bowl. There was 1 punt in the game combined. That's the fewest in NFL history for a Super Bowl. 1 combined sack for the two teams, tied for the fewest in Super Bowl history. The 74 points are the second most combined in Super Bowl history, behind 75 scored between the 49ers and Chargers. Unfortunately for the Chargers, almost all of those 75 points were scored by the 49ers.
Yep, exactly right. Yeah, it was 49 on the money, right?
It was something, yeah.
What was interesting
something big
is there was, you could go, I think it was OddShark on Twitter. They had like a checklist on props for the game.
Right.
So in the house, we just did, a little one-on-one contest of who could win the prop bets. And one of them was you choose either Eagles or Patriots, and it was combined total of sacks and turnovers. Who has the higher combined total? And it was the strip sack that turned the whole thing because there was only one turnover. 0 sacks the entire game. But then the strip sack and then forced fumble recovery flipped it the Eagles' way. But that's how clean this game was for the quarterbacks. However, if you were to note something about quarterbacks and pressure, Brady was hit an awful lot more than Foles was.
By far, and we anticipated that. I just, the Patriots' sack numbers went through the roof in the postseason. We saw, remember I gave you the stat about the 10 combined sacks in their playoff games? Yeah. To see them get no kind of pressure really was kind of surprising. I thought Eagles, obviously the defensive line for the Eagles was much stronger, but I did not sense that the Patriots wouldn't get any pressure. Great job by the Philadelphia offensive line. Obviously, they schemed it up exceptionally well. Do you know who the other backup quarterbacks were that won the Super Bowl without having played more than 3 games in the regular season? You know one for sure, right?
Brady.
Nope.
Brady played more than 3 games in the regular season?
Yep.
Oh, well, now I'm just I'm in a place. I'm stunned. This is standing 8 count.
Well, okay, so the Giants that won did with Jeff Hostetler. Remember that? Yeah.
No, I wasn't alive, I don't think. Or was that 90?
It was 1990, yeah.
All right.
Jeff Haas. But you've seen the man. You've seen the Haas.
I wasn't
you've
sentient.
Seen the mustache. You've seen that, yeah. And the other's Doug Williams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
Good old Doug. So I'm always happy about that. Doug Williams got to go in the Ring of Honor in Tampa Bay at some point, right?
At some point, yes. Oh, well, it's the Glazers, too. It's not even like we have, third generation somebody else.
Yes, no Culver houses.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a good thing. I should also note for Nick Foles, and we mentioned the Jaguars, maybe something to look at there. I'm looking at the third downs in this game, and this is where if you don't generate pressure, you get beat. Nick Foles on third down in this game from the first quarter from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. Here you go. They had a third down and 10. Ends up being a 15-yard pass to Torrey Smith. They had a third down and 7 in the second quarter with 10:30 to play in the half. 19-yard pass to Zach Ertz.
Mm-hmm.
They had a 3rd and 3 in the second quarter towards the end of the half. Ends up being a 55-yard pass to Corey Clement. They have a 3rd and 7 in the third quarter with 8:57 to play. A 14-yard pass and catch to Zach Ertz.
That Clement pass on third down, that's the wheel route, right? Where they catch the guy napping around the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a throw.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
he made like 4 or 5 of them,
had
but
some
that's
really big throws.
Wow. That tells you how his nerve is because the touch required to make that throw.
Well, there's the putting it in the basket throws.
Man.
Yeah, there are a couple of those. 3rd and 1 in the third quarter, you get a Zach Ertz completion for 14. You get Corey Clement 3rd and 6, 22-yard touchdown pass. That's Corey Clement. It's 22-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and 6. And then in the fourth quarter with 2:25 to play, Zach Ertz on 3rd and 7. It's the go-ahead touchdown, 11-yard TD. So those are the third downs, and that's what Nick Foles did with third downs. Get you some of that. He was 21 of 25 in the 2 games going into this. Third down, Philadelphia in the playoffs won across the board, and Nick Foles made those throws.
Yeah, and they all were not open. Some of them were contested throws. I mean, obviously, we talked about the Clement one on the wheel route, but then the touchdown throw is incredible, too. And in the situation the Patriots are pushing coming out of the half, you think, oh, boy, it looks like the Patriots are going to drop 40 in this game. To go respond and make that throw is huge. And I thought Aguilar played really well last night, too. A lot of nifty catches, got small or, got the extra hidden yards here and there. And on the eve almost now of National Signing Day, Florida State was down to the wire on Nelson Aguilar. And he was just such a talent. He went out to USC, obviously. But he had a rough couple of years. Chip Kelly, you thought in the beginning he would get a lot out of him.
I know this because I had him.
Apparently, he was sick last night, too. He was playing with a flu bug. And it did not look like it. He played really tough.
Everybody else in the country, apparently.
Right,
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yes.
Darby apparently had it. Jernigan had it. That was the one thing I said last night was it's just a fact. If Timmy Jernigan is sick in the days leading up to or the day of a championship game and he's on your team, you're going to win
going
that
to
game.
win in exhilarating fashion. Oh, by the way, what you won't do is win a Super Bowl if your quarterback is the MVP or if you house the MVP on your team in any capacity. It's only happened once. Tom Brady is the league's MVP, and he did his part by throwing for 505 yards, but, of course, his team lost the game. Matt Ryan was the MVP in 2016. Ooh. Certainly did his part in getting out to a 28-3 lead before his team and coach betrayed him. They lost that game, too. Cam Newton was the MVP in 2015. Obviously, they did not win the Super Bowl.
No.
Peyton Manning was the MVP in 2013, lost the Super Bowl.
Whoa.
He was also the MVP in 2009. They did not win the Super Bowl, Peyton Manning. Tom Brady was the MVP in 2007. They lost. Sean Alexander, remember him? He was the MVP in 2005, the running back. They did not win the game. That was that ugly one against the Steelers, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, with the officiating.
Officiating was
a little
suspect.
shaky.
Everything about that game sucked. Then there was Rich Gannon, won the league MVP for the
Not
Oakland
even
Raiders.
close.
And my goodness gracious, it certainly looked like Brad Johnson was the MVP that day, my friends. Anyhow, that was in 2002. Kurt Warner was the MVP in 2001. They did not win the Super Bowl that year. However, Kurt Warner was also the MVP in 1999, which is hard to imagine now that it's been that long.
Pushing 20 years.
Yes, and they did win the Super Bowl.
By a yard.
Yes. So Kurt Warner is the one MVP, NFL MVP, since the 1999 season to win the Super Bowl. That's bizarre. And Brady's like, yeah, well, screw you, Cameron. I threw for 505 yards and 3 touchdowns and no picks.
Again, just to look at that just from Philadelphia's perspective, you have the false start. And you can do this. You can always manipulate a play or two here.
Sure.
But the Jeffrey thing is blind luck. That's football luck, a tip pass, you know, because he's actually kind of open there on that play.
Right.
and that's at least a 10-point swing, given what happens in that moment. And then you have the false start on the first drive, which you think, oh, no, what's Philly doing here?
Right.
I think there was Ertz. But they take points off the board in those two circumstances. The two of them kind of trade extra point misses and whatnot, mishaps in the kicking game. And yet, Philly wins this game by 8. I mean, that's just incredible. And you could argue that it should be 5. If they get a first down, they kneel and the game is over. But still, think about that. Brady goes for that. They go for 600 yards of offense, and they still lose.
And they still lose. I mean,
wow.
it's eating at you today if you're a New England fan. That's nuts. You put up huge numbers against an elite defense. And there you go.
Too bad.
By the way, it should be noted, too, and I thought this was interesting looking at the stats and info. I talked all day about the fact that this game revolves around the fact that the two quarterbacks were largely free to operate in the pocket without much duress. And, yes, the Eagles provided more pressure on Tom Brady than in reverse. However, he still had a pretty clean pocket. In the first 9 drives of the game, what they constitute as a pressure, there were 10 for the Eagles against the Patriots. Not a lot. So just pressures. They didn't, just touching him or making him move in the pocket a little bit. In the last 2 drives alone, there were 7, including a strip sack.
Yeah.
A sack fumble. Yeah.
But you could tell, I mean, obviously, the Patriots are so good at what they do, and that's why they're there every year, or at least in the championship game every year, the AFC championship game. Fletcher Cox is the player that you talk about, as a centerpiece of the Eagles' defense. But last night, you know what I mean? It's just incredible, how a game plan can take one player out of a lineup, and the secondary looked so, just like garbage. And yet we know what we saw leading up to last night's game is that Philly's defense is really, really good. They were made to look like fools in so many circumstances, but it didn't matter.
Odds to win the Super Bowl next year is New England, of course, 9-2. I like Philadelphia's chances to repeat more than I do New England's chances to win. Obviously, New England's going to have to get better on defense, but Philadelphia is 6-1. Pittsburgh 8-1. Minnesota 12-1. Green Bay also 12-1 for that matter. So you look at this. Philadelphia's returning everybody. Just about. They get Carson Wentz back. Obviously, he was MVP caliber throughout the year. I think they get back, Pro Bowl left guard. They're loaded.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to repeat. And every year is unto itself. I got you. But you would think would be actually the odds-on favorites.
I know this is going to sound kind of nuts given the last 20 years almost, but the Patriots, that they're the favorite right now, it just sounds crazy to me because you're losing both coordinators.
And your quarterback is getting another year older.
And that defense isn't exactly good.
No, the defense is bad.
Right.
But they got to the Super Bowl with him anyhow.
That's the Belichick
And it took
effect.
a Herculean effort. Think about that. The Eagles had to have Nick Foles play like an MVP.
Yeah.
And they had to be almost perfect to beat the Patriots, who do not play very well on the defensive side. Yeah.
If you're Cousins and Foles, you're probably looking at Jacksonville and Minnesota, right, as your 2 landing spots.
Yeah, but I don't – listen, Minnesota, one way or the other, has a quarterback. Whether they choose to stay
it's Keenum
pat,
or Bridgewater
right,
or Cousins or Foles, right.
They're
going to get somebody.
They've got a quarterback, so right. And I would think you'd stay – wouldn't you stand pat if you were Minnesota?
I'd go after Foles.
You like him more than Case?
With Diggs and Thielen, what you can do in an RPO-style offense, absolutely. I mean,
well, but I'm saying, look, Minnesota moved the ball this year, and he put up prolific numbers.
I think I'd rather bet on
You just don't
Foles.
believe that he can sustain that. It certainly was an anomaly in his career.
I love the story, but, I mean, Foles has proven that he can run that offense now, not just once but twice. It's not just about, he was in the right place at the right time with one coach. It's 2 different coaches. It's an RPO scheme. And it's like Ira said in the beginning of the hour, I find it interesting. I wonder how many people feel this way that don't really like the NFL.
Yeah, they'll be watching it more.
But they might be more apt if offenses look like that. If you build something around Foles and Thielen and Diggs with Dalvin Cook, that's a little bit more up-tempo with an RPO game, man, that sounds pretty attractive.
No, it's fun. But now remember, in that league, though, it doesn't look like that every week. I know it did in the postseason, but even in the postseason, they had the narrow win against Atlanta, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the league is built. You're built to go 8-8. I'm not saying it's a Super Bowl guarantee, but all I'm saying is that's a lot of nice pieces to run that particular style of offense.
I think too that it is good for the NFL. We've talked about this. I like to see the influx of these kinds of schemes and it not be so cookie cutter. But the league also adjusts exceptionally well. anything that comes along, whether it's the greatest show on turf or whatever it might be, right? We've all seen this. The league figures it out pretty quickly, and they have the athletes to do something about it. It gets interesting. I wonder how long they can sustain it.
They do, but it's kind of like a movable object, unstoppable force.
Right.
You say that they adjust, but it's also a copycat league. So I wonder if the principles that we saw on display last night.
Remember the start of the season, Kansas City was doing all that stuff, and Alex Smith was made to look good. I mean, it was,
But will that be the standard pro style? You know what I mean? Like, it's not pro style anymore because it comes from college, but will it be co-opted to become the new pro style that you see something more akin to that on a weekly basis instead of, under center?
Something to watch, by the way, not named football because it is over with football, and you probably already have a bit of a Super Bowl hangover, but you're thinking, what do I do tonight besides hockey? And Big Daddy J will make an appearance next hour, by the way, to help guide you through the evenings
on
ice. But I should note tonight is a fun basketball game, West Virginia and Oklahoma. Trae Young getting another shot at West Virginia. He is averaging nearly 30 points a game, almost 10 assists a game. He's got a good chance to finish the season at 30-10 for his average. Have you not watched him?
I have.
It's dumb.
Yeah, I've watched. He was an assist machine on Saturday.
He'll be the first player to lead Division I basketball in both categories since assists became an official statistic, which I was shocked to find out that assists did not become an official statistic in college basketball until 1983.
Really?
What are we doing?
So you were 12 by the time they made him an official stat?
Yeah,
That's
nuts. It doesn't make a lot of sense. College basketball, anyhow. That's somewhat striking. I was surprised by that. By the way, he had a season-low 9 assists in the first game against West Virginia. Oklahoma did as a team. I shouldn't say he. They did as a team.
I think you're like me in this regard, and I think a lot of sports fans are, but maybe I'm just, kind of weird. But after a win like Saturday's,
You need a break? You need to take a break?
No, I pull up the standings, like the ACC standings, and they don't change. Once they're updated, they're updated. And I'll stare at them. I'll just stare at them, on and off for 10 minutes and think about, well, if you can do this. And I'll look at the schedules for each team, but then I'll look back at the standings. I've already memorized them at this point. But then I'll look back at each team's individual schedule and I'll play the game.
Yeah,
about
who's got the more
likelihoods
impressive,
and where you can slot.
And you see us as I do, a top 6 team.
I think we can sneak in the top 5.
I think so too.
But it's an interesting week for the balance of power in the middle of the conference because North Carolina plays 2 tough games. And I was looking at the ACC schedule. This is
Look
what
at
happens.
this guy. He is diving in the deep end.
So Duke, North Carolina's Thursday. Would it shock you if North Carolina won that game? Because they can always play way the hell up
It
here.
would shock me, but I'm not counting on it.
But then they got to turn around and play NC State on Saturday.
Yeah, go ahead and lose that one.
They could have an 0-2 week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at, Tom Lang. Did you know, by the way, it's the only time I can sneak it in here at the end of the hour that I'll mention the golf. And I only do that because do you realize if you're not watching golf, I get it. Maybe that's not your cup of tea out there. But if it were, you will have watched 4 straight playoffs on the PGA Tour. This is getting dumb.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Well, and for it to happen yesterday took a great finish from Reavie.
Yeah.
I was locked in
Good
all
old
weekend.
Jay Reavie. I was too. It's really good. I like that event anyhow. Phil Mickelson with a top 5 finish. Phil's got 2 top 5s this year. He's 47 years old.
Did you do well?
I had Mickelson this weekend, so that helped. The other, Webb Simpson failed me.
I didn't see him.
No.
You saw everybody pretty much except for Spieth who didn't make the cut.
No, well, Webb didn't either.
Oh, well.
Had a chance at it, but just struggled down the stretch
What
there.
a web he weaves.
On Friday, yeah, he let me down. I didn't win this week, Tom, in my pool. But I did have a top 5 finish, so it helped mitigate because we get points.
You get points?
You get certain things. You get certain things.
They had better than 200,000 people there on a given day. That thing's crazy. That's got to be on the bucket list, right, to go see that event?
This is, I'm using this term loosely, but I have a cohort on the SiriusXM side of broadcasting that I work with that got to do his show. He's not even a golf announcer. He doesn't work as I do for the PGA Tour Network.
The nighttime show.
He got to go sit in the stands and do the damn show.
Yeah.
That's nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
He's a talented broadcaster, and I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything away from him. I mean that he is actually good. He's one of the few people in the business I respect. But he got to sit in the stands there at the stadium and do it up.
I know you don't respect anybody more in the business than what we have from 6 to 10, 10 to 1, and 1 to 3. Right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I don't know what we have from 6 to 10.
6 to 10 a.m. Golden Wingo.
Oh, yeah.
Levitard, Stephen A.
Well,
Those are your 1, 2, and 3 people that you respect the most, and then it's the rest, right? Because we have such a great lineup.
without question. But my guy got to sit in the stands and do that show, and I'm really envious. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
For proposal that I had in my hand like a minute ago. Yippee!
Stables wants you to spend your time doing what you really love. That's why we have organizational solutions for any business, so you can clear the clutter and focus on the job at hand.
Ah, here it is. Nope, that's a Chinese takeout menu.
Staples. Less mess equals more success.
And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
And then you decided to sell it, and I always thought you should keep it.
You know, I wanted to keep it.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Why wouldn't you keep that?
It wasn't the right color.
It was perfect. I tell
know.
everybody to this day, you should have seen the other one. You should have seen the other one. It was incredible. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
At Advance Auto Parts, we offer you the quality parts you want and knowledge you need. And we're always looking for ways to help you save. Right now at Advance, premium oil brands like Castrol, Mobil, Valvoline, and Pennzoil are all on sale. Choose 5 quarts and an oil filter starting as low as $23.99 for your oil change. Only at Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts stores. Advance Auto Parts, where oil is priced like it should be. See store for details. Limit 5 oil change specials per customer. Valvoline bottles may vary by store.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9, happy hour drink specials, and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less. Woohoo! Banditos!
Huh? Where?
Banditos Burritos, baby.
AmeriGas Propane would like to take this time to thank their valued customers for their business. At AmeriGas, serving their customers in a safe and responsible manner is their top priority. They're proud to be a part of the local community and participate in the many activities that support local charities and organizations that improve the neighborhoods where we all work, live, and play. For your propane needs, call on AmeriGas Propane. Call 877-1122.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car, yes sir.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening on this day after the Super Bowl. Patriots coach Bill Belichick not divulging the reason for not starting cornerback Malcolm Butler, who did start more than 98% of the defensive snaps in the regular season. All Belichick would say, they put the players on the field and game plan out there that they thought was best. ESPN's Damien Woody not buying that explanation.
You're going to try to tell us that this whole thing is about matchups. I mean, there's matchups going on all year long, and this guy was out there for all the different matchups. But now in the biggest game of the year, now you want to tell us that this is about matchups. Come on, man.
Damien Woody on Golick and Wingo. Philadelphia has scheduled the Eagles championship parade for Thursday morning. Magic forward Aaron Gordon, strained hip flexor, has withdrawn from the NBA All-Star Dunk Contest. Jazz rookie Donovan Mitchell will replace Gordon in that dunk contest. Number 17 Oklahoma and Trae Young host number 19 West Virginia tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Young remains on pace to be the first player to lead Division I in both points per game and assists per game since 1983-84.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you do miss things, and that's why we got you covered. All 3 hours get posted upon the conclusion of the show every day, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. So if you miss it, go back, catch up at your leisure. Email the show if you want. It's jcs@979ESPNradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at JCameronShow, WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. We're on YouTube as well. Hello, everybody on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube. And if you follow at 979 ESPN Radio, if you follow them on Twitter, us, if you will, on Twitter, then you'll find the Periscope feed as well. So lots of ways to catch up, watch live, all that. And then there's always just, the terrestrial radio. Like you could be listening right now to me driving down the road.
I know you've been promoting it all week, and what we have ahead with signing day.
Big time, baby.
Yeah, this is great. This week in general is just loaded. It's loaded Monday to Friday, and you don't typically get that in February.
No, it's exciting, man. And I again, every day I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's baseball month. That's a good thing. Really excited about that. But signing day's Wednesday, and we got good things planned on Wednesday, and Coach is going to join us, and it's just all fun, all good times, and I really look forward to going over to that Virginia game, and I say that Florida State game against Virginia. I think the crowd will be great on Wednesday night. Obviously, it's tremendous to come off of a win like they just had, and I know the Eagles knocked off the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and that's normally your lead. It is the Super Bowl, but given how wrong I was about the prediction of Florida State on the road against Louisville, I got to own it at the top of each hour, Tom. And just in case people are tuning in and out, he didn't own it. I always own up. I owned up to it on Twitter a millisecond after the dunk.
My mistake, Jacobin. Your mistake indeed.
Yeah, man. I was wrong. I've been right a lot about this team this year, but man, that was a swing and a miss big time. It's less about me. It's more about them, man. I'm proud of them. I really was. That was one of those moments where it was less analytical and much more emotional, where I was like, yeah, good on you, kids, because I like this team, man. I like them, and I want good things for them because they play hard. They don't always play smart, but they play hard, and they play for each other, and they play for the coaches, and they're capable, right? We see them play bad, but we also see them play really well. And so that's why, by the way, I will say that when we dropped the inbounds pass, I thought, oh, well, this is going to be a tough one to get past. This is going to be a toughie when we lose this game, having completely melted down in the last minute of the contest, missing free throws and capable of getting the ball inbounds. You know, the kind of stuff teams do when they're trying to just give the damn game away. And it was happening, and it was rare because, Tom, you know, we're measured in responses. We're kind of calm. You know where I was at? I was at my son's baseball practice, watching it on my phone, because I had told myself, even though I was taping the game, that I would come back and watch it, and I wouldn't check the score, and I couldn't do it. Early in the first half, I checked the score at like the 7-minute mark, and we're right there. I think it was tied, or we were up 2 or down 2, and I was like, oh, all right, well, that's a good start. And then the FSU voice in my head goes, you need to watch it. Stop worrying about Bryce's Little League baseball practice. Watch your team play. And I went, you're right. And I walked to my car, and I shut the door, and I watched the game in peace. I didn't see a second of Bryce's practice because I was watching that, which is fine. It doesn't make me a bad dad. They were still practicing when the game was over. It was okay, under the lights. But I watched that, and I'm screaming in the car. I never do that. We always just look off into the distance. Measured, calm. We've been there, done that. Seen a lot of close basketball games in our day. Been on the right side of some of them, been on the wrong side of some of them. And, you know, it's okay. You live to fight another day one way or the other. Won't be the last big win. Won't be the last tough loss. Just handle it, right? But no, I was yelling.
We've talked about this before. For me personally, this is the toughest sport to watch and be contained. I don't know what it is. I just, maybe it's the immediacy.
Yeah.
It's the feel of there's like a personality to it because there's so few players in a rotation on the floor at a given time. So you get attached to the players more than you would 11 on a football field, or, you know, if you have a 4-wide set and it's your fourth receiver on the depth chart and he has a 50-yard bomb, you're like, all right, great throw. But it's not the same thing as Phil Kofer making a big basket because you invest in him for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think
this
that's
being
right.
his fourth. But there's something about the game, especially the one on Saturday. There's a helplessness, but yet you have to say something. You have to do something.
I usually say inappropriate things.
Right.
Yeah, I usually do.
No, I am my most foul when it comes to language in basketball, and I don't know why, but it's just consistently been the truth over hockey, baseball, and football, and it's not even close.
When the Schneider kid hit the 3 for Louisville to pull him within 4.
Yeah.
Just to pull him within 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough shot. And that's a tough shot he hits, and I go, of course he hit that. Now, that's the beginning where it starts to bubble. It starts to come to the surface where I'm going, oh, that's what we're doing here, huh? Okay. So he hits that 3, and then on the inbounds play, Brian fumbles the ball out of bounds, and I'm going, well, this is the kind of thing that happens when my heart is going to be ripped from my chest. And, you know, Terrence misses both free throws, and I'm going, well, what are we doing? But the beauty of this game is that you have opportunities to turn around and redeem yourself. So you miss those 2 free throws, and then you play defense like a mother against a 5-star kid who has the bounce, and you block that shot. With that dunk on the other end,
yeah,
I jumped out of the car.
Yeah, that's cathartic, isn't it? That dunk? Yeah, there's something about it. Yeah.
You're like, that's it, you're dead. That's it, you're done. There's no coming back now.
you
I'm
can't.
done with you.
It's 4. The margin
it's
is
over.
4.
There's nothing you can do to me
Just
now.
don't foul the
Go
three-point
ahead.
shooter in the
Heave
half
it.
court.
I hope it goes in. Heave it. I don't care. Let it go in. You're done.
Don't foul him because it will go in. Even though
Only
that's
if you foul him.
completely-
If you foul him, it's going to go in. If you don't, he's got no chance to even hit the rim.
It's completely unreasonable. But
It doesn't
we all
make any
feel it.
sense. Yeah, it's
But
like
we
changing
all-
the channel when things are going bad
Oh.
and then going back expecting that that's going to do something.
Well, listen, at the first half, I feel great. At halftime, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second half, they have a sequence of, I don't know how many possessions. It might have even been more than I think in my head because you just remember these things that make you angry. But there's the end one that they have where the kid, it comes off out of his hands at his hip and it goes up and it loops in. You're going to give him an end one there.
Yeah.
We had continuation issues.
Yes.
They didn't give us continuation on the Forrest one, which is complete nonsense. And then Kamaja ends up slamming it home on that same possession. But then they miss one, an awful shot after a great defensive possession, but they miss it long, right into the arms of one of their own players for a putback. One of the few, by the way. That wasn't a huge deal in this game.
No, we played.
And then there was a three-pointer from the extended elbow where we play perfect defense, and it's a contested shot. All of these are in as you're dictating what the final is going to look like, what the final 2 or 3 minutes are going to look like,
Right.
and what the margin is,
Yes.
and what you have to do to finish it out. And these are 3 key baskets to keep Louisville in the game.
And we're not doing anything wrong there.
Right.
And that makes you so mad because you want to be rewarded. I'm going to talk about reward in a moment when we get into the Super Bowl, but you want to be rewarded for doing things the right way. You want to be rewarded. And when it doesn't happen, and it can happen because here's the deal. The other guys are on scholarship, and they're really, really good. They're 5-star recruits, and they make shots rather improbably at times.
Well,
they make plays.
They don't need the help of an N1 from their hip.
Right.
And that's the thing.
That's,
That's what made this game. I just, even yesterday, all day, I felt lighter. I was walking
Just
around lighter
giddy.
because that was one of the most satisfying wins I've ever watched.
But for me too, everybody knows I gave them virtually no chance to win the game. I said they wouldn't win the game. Boy, was I wrong. I'm glad I was wrong. I've never been more excited to be wrong about a game. And kudos to those kids. Again, it's less about me, more about them. I didn't think they'd win because I have a lot of respect for Louisville's players and a lot of respect for the way they play the game. And I really admired what they did to us in the second half of the game here. A lot of teams go away in those situations like they had when they played us here and they're getting stomped in that first half. And they chalk it up to a road ACC tough one, right? But not that Louisville team. And so I didn't like our chance. I thought the matchup was bad. For us to go there and win, to outplay them, to earn it, it wasn't lucky. We outplayed them. We played well. You have the lack of execution there towards the end, and you try to give it away, and it just would have been heartbreaking. It would have been one of the rare times that I wouldn't have just cold, calculatedly sat down here in this chair and said, well, here are the stats. Here's what happened. The numbers tell the story. We didn't deserve to win, or we did, or whatever it might be. This would have been one of those times where had they given this away after they had played so well, so many guys played well. Phil Kofor with 16 points, really hustled, played hard. Kamaji played well. C.J. Walker had 10.6 boards. You had a lot of guys step up. Trent Forrest. Can we get more minutes for Trent Forrest, please?
Yeah.
He is really good.
He's going to get him.
More minutes, please, Trent Forrest. 10 points, 9 boards, 5 assists. Was really good in this game.
And yet, as good as he was in the stretch, he had to be good because of the foul trouble to Angola and CJ. We get down the stretch run here last couple of minutes, and I went, so we're really going to run with Forrest and Walker here. MJ Walker.
Yeah, but
we're not going to rotate these other two back in who helped get us to this point. And it turned out to be the right play, and eventually you get Angola in there. That turnover was pretty killer. It's there's just we exchanged texts right after this game.
Yeah,
I said I could talk about this game for 6 hours because there's so much to it. It's hard to whittle it down to the best 4 or 5 minutes worth of content in talking about this game.
Let's just watch MJ Walker's dunk on a loop. Just watch that on a loop because once the Terrence Mann block happens, he redeems himself. You're happy. Now you got to execute, and you see the ball pushed up floor, and you go, oh, here it is.
Right.
I thought they were going to foul the hell out of him.
Right, yeah, don't miss the bunny on the what I mean? All that kind of stuff where they don't call it because there were a lot of things around the rim they did not call, which is also really frustrating. You're telling me that everybody is jumping straight up? Yeah. Everyone is jumping straight up?
They're all jumping straight up.
It's a miracle that Mahmoud fouled out of the game considering how many calls that he and his counterparts got because they went straight up on a contested shot around the basket in the restricted area. Yeah, thanks for that. But I don't know how Leonard does it because we've been in a lot of places over the years where we watch football. and people are losing their minds, and we can be calm
Very
in those
calm.
moments.
Very calm, yeah.
Save for Miami Saturday for
Yeah.
you and Florida for me
Yep,
sometimes.
yeah. On the roof, I get a little crazy with the Miami game.
Right, and for me, Florida. But I'm the opposite with basketball. Leonard is just so damn calm.
Well, I admire it. Remember when we upset Duke at Duke and the girl is screaming at us to go home. And he just calmly is walking over to shake Coach K's hand. He's done it not once but twice. The Tony Douglas team that beat him, he just kind of, I expected it, you know. He had a lot of what for that day when he pointed to the three-point line. That was beautiful. I loved it, but he was not having it that day. And remember, we were getting crazy bad calls because it is Duke, and we knew that would happen, and he stayed calm there, right? And he's had moments like that where he is calm. And we've lost in heartbreaking fashion to any number of teams, and I'm ready to jump out of my shoes or my skin, and I see him just calmly walking over to shake hands.
No.
And he did it again on Saturday, but I know he knows this was a big win.
Yeah, the irony of the snare win was that Bernard did actually foul underneath the basket. We did finally get a call when they that should have been an N1.
Should have been an N1
for the lead.
Yeah.
Instead, it's tie game and chaotic.
The
We
refs
win
did
the
the
ball
right.
game.
The refs did what I think they should do, which is let's play some basketball.
Well, and we
you're
actually
going to be a grown ass man, go to the hole. You're not going to get a call out of me.
And we actually got a call or two down the stretch in this game after being screwed for about 28 good minutes there. I was counting.
For the record, we're still not ranked in the AP. If you're wondering,
Neither are they. Is that because of the the scandal thing, or are they just not ranking them?
Well, but they had a tough week.
No, I mean I'm just talking in general. I mean, they're as they built 6-2, 6-3 in the ACC.
Yeah, I was surprised
no love
by that.
for Louisville.
Yeah, it was surprised.
I wonder
by
if
that.
that's tied to the.
It might be
the
actually.
Patino thing.
I don't know if that's accurate or not, but that might be. Having said all of that, obviously we've got to talk some Super Bowl here. And Philadelphia, congratulations to you and your fans. Obviously, I'm not a Philadelphia fan. Won't pretend to be one here, but I did find myself pulling for them last night. I like the Nick Foles story. Got to give him credit. By the way, Jacksonville, let's just talk for a second. There's your guy. There's your guy. Go get him. That's your guy. You want him or Cousins, by the way?
I want him.
I want him.
Because of the implications of what last night said about the NFL game. You can run RPOs. You can run the college style.
You can run it, man.
Both
How
teams
many
did.
isolations did we watch last night? These matchups are the trips over and over again. Trips with a man in motion, back in the motion off to the right side, get you Ertz on the one side and one-on-one coverage.
Now they got
that's a touchdown play. Too.
They got in trouble getting cute on a couple of third and shorts where they tried to run some perimeter stuff.
Right.
That sets up the Ertz fourth down conversion.
Part of those offenses are that they're cute,
and that's what the NFL will do too. It will remind you that a defensive end can set the
really
edge and also make a tackle on a scat player at the NFL level in space. It's just incredible.
Can really move.
But look what New England did too with the tempo. And they were running RPO concepts and spread concepts.
Well,
which they have run spread concepts
for a while,
before.
yeah.
I'm not saying that they just went completely different last night. But with the tempo element to it, you saw a lot of what college football brings to the table every week in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was cool to watch because I'll tell you, we talked about this on Friday. I brought up that article that I liked, which had, 6 or 7 examples of where the college game has now found a way within the playbook of offensive football in the NFL to remain, not just as a gimmicky thing, but as a creative concept that you build your entire game plan around. We're seeing that now. Peterson did a great job with it, and you're right, the Patriots incorporated a lot of those elements. It's good because the NFL was so stuffy for so long and in so many ways. And it's good to see a team like Philadelphia rewarded, too, for being the way they are in terms of aggressiveness. So I'll talk about that. I know we're up against it, but that's to watch them perform that way with the game on the line and execute. You see too many teams over the years during this unbelievable run, this great dynasty that the Patriots have had. How many times have we been rooting against them as fans of other teams, only to see teams, feel the moment?
Sure. Well, but that's why I thought this team would, and that's why I made the ridiculous bet, even though I was afraid of Brady on Friday, is they have the mentality. They have the demeanor to look New England in the eye and stare them down and not be afraid. They're not going to blink. And they're the better team except for, the most important position on the field. But the offense is such that it's generating a lot of good looks and high percentage throws for him anyway. He'll make a couple of, eye-popping throws a game. But the way that they're constructed, they're just better than a Patriots team that was flawed for 75-80% of the season. Then the schedule got easy and we all kind of forgot about it. And yet Brady's almost great enough to win the game by himself because that's what it would have been.
almost, and if they had gotten any pressure at any point in the game to slow Foles down at all, he did unbelievable work on the offensive side. If they had just gotten a couple stops, they would have won the game. Listen, if you can't get pressure on a quarterback, any quarterback is going to kill you. You can't ascend to the NFL if you can't make accurate throws standing in the pocket with nobody around you. And nobody was around Nick Foles. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
I'm Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. Some roofers are like a bad boyfriend. They make lots of promises, but in reality, they're just cheap. They don't own up to their mistakes, and they leave you with a lot of regret. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. At Parker Brothers, it's quality that builds our quantity. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
Fox and Stag, Tallahassee's premier craft cocktail bar located in the Manor at Midtown on Thomasville Road, invites you to spend Valentine's Day with them. Chef Sergio has crafted a 3-course tapas-style meal for 2, including a bottle of red or white wine of your choice. It promises to be a night to remember. Spots are limited, so message them on Facebook to reserve yours now. Mention this ad to receive $5 off your bill. Walk-ins are always welcome to enjoy the daily menu, plus a surprise or 2. Fox and Stag, open 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
There's a way to give her a box of chocolate on Valentine's Day.
And a way to give her a box of chocolate on Valentine's Day.
Turn it up this Valentine's Day with Levion Chocolate Diamond Jewelry from Jared. You'll find more exclusive Levion pieces at Jared than any other jewelry store in the world. And when you visit Jared.com from February 1st through the 14th, you'll receive $100 off any Levion purchase. That's our Valentine's gift to you.
And that's why he went to Jared.
Some exclusions apply. See Jared.com for details.
During Aaron's anniversary sale, you're gonna be blown away. Get big lease-to-own savings on an LG 65-inch 4K TV, an Amana laundry pair, bedrooms, living rooms, and so much more. Plus, get 6 months same as cash with no credit needed and free delivery and setup. All month long, come to a participating Aaron's store and get 6 months same as cash. Or visit Aaron's.com during Aaron's anniversary sale. Transaction advertised as a rental purchase agreement. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You know, I got to tell you, one of the things that I liked as that game went on last night about the Eagles winning is they were rewarded as a team and, of course, Doug Peterson as a coach for being bold, for being brash, for being, most importantly, aggressive. Yes, we say it all the time. And how many times have we watched teams play well against the Patriots and then the moment is too big? The realization that they're playing well against the Patriots and they have a chance to knock them off sets in, and they go and they try to shorten the game by just really as dull as you can possibly imagine, running the ball into the middle of the line, something safe to run clock. And, of course, this game really wouldn't have allowed for them to do that, given that the Eagles' defense, which we kind of thought, Tom, you and I, why we picked them, would be the big part of their win, was getting absolutely decimated by Tom Brady and the Patriots' offense. So, in a sense, the thing that we thought they would be able to do, they couldn't, and thus Doug Peterson had to continue to be aggressive. But they were aggressive from the start, even before it was obvious that their defense wasn't going to be able to get stops.
No, Fred, it's a weird thing that happens in football when you get into games like this and somebody sets the pace with scores and then you have to keep up with it. Defensively, for some reason, it's hard. Like, you see it all the time. This is one of my worries about what we're going to be here with the up-tempo offense. Can the defense, make those 2 or 3 key stops to put the game so far, in your advantage that a team ends up, packing it in a little bit and you can pin your ears back. Tom Brady's one of the greats of all time, if not the greatest of all time. He just threw for 500 yards in a losing cause. We all know this, and it's incredible. But I wonder how different the game might have been if Alshon Jeffrey made the catch and not tipped it back into the middle of the field for that one turnover. The Eagles' one turnover.
Right.
Because then the Eagles continue to set a 2-score pace.
Right.
Even though they're missing extra points and 2-point conversions left and right, they're still adding on to the lead. It was one of those weird games. It followed the form of something you see in the Big 12. And I don't know what that is. And I don't know if coaches have an explanation for it.
Well,
but it turned into arena football, even though you felt like, and you look at the final numbers with rushing, and it doesn't look great for the Eagles defense. But honestly, in the flow of the first 2 or 3 quarters, they couldn't run the ball. New England had no chance to run the ball and sustain a drive. It had to be a counterpunch.
And timing became a big part of how they ran the ball. Once they got the Eagles reeling in the passing game, then they were able to sprinkle in the run game and have some success there. At the end of the day, this game entirely came down to the fact that the New England Patriots couldn't get close to Nick Foles. So, I mean, the whole game, to me, becomes an arena game, at least on one side of it, for one team, because it was pitch and catch. I mean, this is not to take anything from Nick Foles, who was great in the game, but they couldn't touch him. They couldn't get near him. He wasn't sacked once in this game. I heard a stat earlier today. I read a stat earlier today. I think it was ESPN Sports and Info. Quarterbacks in Super Bowl history that have gone through the game without being sacked once. It's happened 8 times. They're 7-1. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're not going to get hit and you're not going to get pressure on the quarterback, he was never sacked. He's going to make you pay, and he did.
Right, and Brady only got sacked once. But the difference was that in the first half, Philadelphia was so close on so many different plays, and they drove Brady into the ground, or they got a piece of him, and he gets away.
Yeah, they could get to him a little bit. He made some throws. Brady's still so good, man. Throws for 505 yards against that defense.
Well, but I'll tell you what, though, it's a great night for McDaniels, and it's not a good night for Jim Schwartz because whatever they tried to do at halftime, it didn't work.
No.
New England could still, without Cooks, scheme receivers to be 10, 20 yards wide open. What in the world?
How amazing is that, right? I mean, at that level. But it's I gotta give Peterson back to giving him credit for being aggressive and rewarding the team for being aggressive. He was asked, Peter King asked him after the game about his football ethos, if you will, and that mentality into any game, any situation, and he said, well, it comes from when I played quarterback. Watching a lot of teams, playing a lot of football, watching a lot of football. Quote, you learn if you play passive, if you play very conservative, if you call plays conservatively, you can go and have a winning season. You'll be 9-7. You can go 8-8, 9-7, waiting on everybody else to make mistakes, which is true,
That's 100% true.
That's right.
And you talk about ethos. What you just said right there is what Dirk Cutter believes in his heart in Tampa.
Well,
it's don't lose.
Right, and that drives me nuts because what he went on to do is obviously Peterson, well, I don't want to be average. I want to give ourselves a chance to be great. I could go 8-8. I can go 9-7 and not turn the ball over and just play very conservatively and field position and but by the way, as an aside, fine. Do that when you don't have a franchise quarterback. Do that when you have a dominant defense. The Bucs defense is garbage, and they have a franchise quarterback with weapons. It's the opposite that he should be embracing.
It's all I heard all weekend. And although it didn't play out precisely the same as Hasselbeck said, Matt Hasselbeck said on the desk in the morning yesterday on SportsCenter, it's the same concept as what actually played out. And what he said is the mantra is this. It's pretty simple. The more field goals you kick, the closer you are to losing the football game. Yes. Yes, 100% true.
In a game like this, especially as it turned out.
Well, and I hear that. I'm having breakfast yesterday, and I hear that. And I really don't even know why SportsCenter's on, but it is.
Super Bowl Sunday.
I guess so. And so he says it. I go, it took me about 5 minutes of ruminating. Dirk, I hope you were watching television in that moment, and you had. But I mean, seriously though,
think about this though.
He is wired specifically.
Yes, it's been my biggest
play for points.
It's been my biggest complaint about him. He coaches scared.
He aspires.
On display last night was the antithesis of that.
He aspires to be above average. He does not aspire to be great. And this dude last night, how many times have we said it across college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or anything in between, where we said the flow of the game demand, you got to go for it here. It doesn't matter that you're on your own side of the 50. You're not getting a stop. It's just not happening for you. So the punt is a concession here. I mean, there was one punt the entire game between the two teams. He knew it. He knew he had to go for it in that moment. There's fewer than 5 minutes to go. You have to right here or else you are down, man.
And that play call, the one where Foles catches it, obviously, is so much fun. Do you remember at the end of the regular season, was it Detroit pulling out the 2-point play?
That you said you'd fire Jim Caldwell for.
I would have fired him. I would have fired him. They broke that out on a 2-point play in a meaningless game with their season already decided. That's the first time they ran it all year. And it's brilliant. The play itself was every bit as brilliant, if not more so, than what you saw last night with the play to Foles, which was also brilliant. But it's guaranteed to work once. Nobody has ever seen it. It's going to work as long as you catch the ball, Tom Brady. It's going to work, okay?
Is he thinking about getting hit or what?
No.
That's what it looks like.
Not a great athlete. But it's it's going to work. If the guy executes the throw and the guy receiving the throw catches it,
sure,
you're going to be okay. So how you break, that's when you do that. That is so perfect. That play's brilliant. And to call it in, a lot of people have said today that was, once again, sort of the dagger moment and when you really were happy for Philadelphia because, again, they were playing to win and not to lose and all of this. Man, no, he had been aggressive all night. That play is a no-brainer in that situation.
Yeah,
that's a brilliant play, but that play, whenever it was drawn up, the moment of brilliance was when they drew up the play, not when they called.
Sure,
it. You had to do that there.
No, the moment of brilliance is also deciding to go for it, taking a timeout and sending the offense right back out there. That's what that is.
It's the right thing to do.
Rough night for Collinsworth and Michaels last night on the call. And, Chris wanted that to be the play of the game. And it's, man, you know what? They're going for 1,200 yards tonight.
Yeah.
That's going to get lost in the shuffle a little bit.
Yeah.
It is a huge moment in the game. But for me, again, one of the key moments in the game is the one turnover prior to Brady's fumble. It changes everything because, of course, Tom goes 90 yards down the field
Which
to answer.
You exactly knew he would.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect Patriots drive in this sense. You get a lucky break, you get the ball, and then the drive is prolonged by a flag. That's correct, but I wonder, how many times did the New England secondary do something akin to that? And would Nick Foles have gotten that call in a similar dire circumstance, or would the Eagles have been forced to punt the ball?
They called a good game last night.
By and large,
yes. They got it right.
Yes,
last night. Yeah,
but
these
it's
guys
a
aren't
perfect Patriots drive. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's got the
yeah.
elements of everything. Brady's greatness is on full display. Take nothing away from all the throws he made on that drive, and then it's instant score, 90 yards when you have to have it. They get a call, and they get a bounce to go their way before it.
If you're Tom Brady, you're at the end of your career, even if you don't think you're ever going to die or age. you know it. The deep down, when you're not selling something, when you're not selling yourself a lie and you're not selling product, then you know the chances to come back and win these things they're narrowing. Now your place is cemented as the greatest of all time, but it's got to hurt a little bit today. And I think people take great satisfaction in this because we're tired of seeing them be on the for them the right end of things. You throw for 505 yards against that defense. You throw no interceptions. You throw 3 touchdown passes. You're brilliant. You're absolutely brilliant in this game, and it's all in defeat, which is fine, which is great. And you know what? I'm not feeling sorry for him. I'm just picturing a competitor like that who wants to amass as many of these as possible. He wants to set the bar so high as to have his legacy cemented, never to be touched. Right? Nobody's going to catch me. That's got to hurt. I would be looking at my defense. Listen,
Sure.
Nick Foles played great in the playoffs, and he deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take anything away from him, but it's Nick Foles.
Oh, well,
I'm going to be sitting there saying, guys.
Brady's got to feel like LeBron with some of those Cavs teams.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
How much can you fail me? I do everything I possibly can do.
Well, wouldn't you? I mean, so in the argument of Belichick-Brady,
Yeah.
in a weird way, if they're that petty, Brady's up on Belichick. Belichick's a defensive mind. Belichick's a defensive mastermind. Belichick's defense. If you're Brady, you walk past Belichick here and go, I threw for 505 yards, my man.
I think that first one you can give to Belichick, right? So they got a defensive touchdown in that game.
Last night, Brady's over on Belichick.
I thought you meant, in their time together.
No, last night, Brady's looking at Belichick.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I know Captain Blackbeard's going out to Detroit. Think you could,
what are we doing over here?
Take the pencil out of his ear and write something down? Maybe an idea?
It's just got to be frustrating. I'm not coming at it from the angle that I feel bad for him. I don't. But listen, we both watched the game. We all saw both sides. It's a pinball machine. I mean, they're just lighting up the scoreboard. The yardages are incredible for both quarterbacks. But 505 yards, most ever for a quarterback in a losing effort in the Super Bowl, to say the least. And to be that good, I mean, it's not just that it was the 505 yards. He's averaging over 10 yards per completion. It's 28 of 48. It's 3 touchdowns. It's no picks.
This is the funniest thing in the world to me, though. It is like if in a losing effort you could better your legacy, this is the effort to do it.
It's
right?
crazy.
But it's funny how.
But you drop the pass and it's a strip sack,
right?
Which is not your fault, really. But okay,
sure. But it, to me, it like underscores, not to make it an NBA discussion, but it underscores how unfair everybody is to LeBron.
Right,
for a lot of the failures.
Right. Because
the first Heat one, I got you. That's
where he melted down.
But a couple of the Cavs losses in the finals,
they're only there because of him. Yes.
We talk about it much differently when they fail in the finals than we do with Tom Brady's circumstances today. And if you look at it, Brady's, he's been to 8 championship rounds. He's won 5 of them, so he's doing pretty damn fine in winning percentage.
Doing quite well.
It's not winning every single one of them, but when he has a failure, we go, well, I mean, what more do you want him to do? When LeBron fails in the NBA, it's, clearly he's just not Jordan.
Yeah, but I don't do that.
You don't.
I don't do that.
But it's funny because across
I've given
the board,
LeBron all the love in the world.
National people will do that exact same thing, and they'll play both sides of it.
Yeah, they want a reason. That's the no. LeBron is cemented. I mean, the one that he won over Golden State, down 3-1. We're done here. You don't ever have to do anything again.
Sure.
Well, that was insane.
Yeah.
but I mean. It is hard to fault much of what Tom Brady did. It's 505 yards against that Eagles defense.
I'm telling you, the winners last night beyond the Eagles, again, it's McDaniels and Brady. Mm-hmm. It's just, Brady's got to create time, and we've talked about it, ad nauseum last week and all season long. He's gotten so much quicker when he whips from one side of his progression to the other.
Crazy.
It's incredible, the footwork.
It's something to behold. And I don't want to spend the rest of our days talking about Brady because somebody else won the Super Bowl last night. And that quarterback, Nick Foles, was great. But yeah.
How do you scheme dudes that wide open all night long? That's what's crazy to me.
I'd like to
and
see
still
that
you get boat race, save for one key play here or there. I mean, Philly set the tone. That would have been an all-timer for Philly if it didn't go their way. But, the right team won, and I think the margin was about right for how the game was for
I'll say this.
Most of it.
It was at 33-32. you like the Eagles' chances to go down and score some points. Obviously, New England wasn't getting any pressure, and they were probably going to score. But we do all in that moment have the, are you effing kidding me? Mm-hmm. This is what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Again? I mean, there's a split second where we're all going, ball's going to get tipped.
Right.
Somebody's going to get
they're going for 500 total yards or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, really? So tonight is the night of all nights that the defense, the Eagles defense, is not going to show up.
Not show up at all, and we're going to end up with this. Yeah, I was going to be pretty disgusted. So oddly enough, as that game went on, I always say this about games, you can tell people you go into them not rooting for anybody. You don't watch a game and not root for somebody. And I ended up rooting for the Eagles, obviously.
I said it before, buddy. By the drive, too, I'd flipped what I thought I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just about, potato chips. It was about, like, all right. Look, just the heart.
Oh, well,
they don't care. They don't care who they're playing. It's a likable team and a hateable fan base.
Very. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
Hendrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your savings. Race into Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC for the best selection and service in Tallahassee. Get incredible discounts on racetrack-worthy vehicles, like $10,000 off select new Buicks and GMCs. We are professional grade. And that's not all. We've got a huge used car inventory, so you can find a quality pre-owned vehicle to fit any budget. We even offer low payments and exceptional offers like 0% APR financing. Hassle? No way. Haggle? Never. At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, you'll deal with people you know, like, and trust, and get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJr.BuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
I'm Johnny Weir.
And I'm Tara Lipinski.
Entenmann's is celebrating their 120th birthday in a big way with their I Sing on the Cake sweepstakes. Go to Entenmann's120birthday.com to enter for a chance to win some really great prizes.
Now, if you sing happy birthday to Entenmann's using the hashtags Entenmann's120 and hashtag promotion, you get a second entry for the prizes. And Entenmann's will make a donation to the Give the Note Foundation to support music education in schools.
120 years.
Who doesn't love Entenmann's?
Happy birthday to you.
you. This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports history.
February 5th, 2017. The game gave us a number of firsts when the New England Patriots played the Atlanta Falcons in Super Bowl 51. It was the first Super Bowl game to ever go into overtime. The Patriots also completed the greatest comeback in the history of the game by overcoming a 28-3 deficit before winning 34-28.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Superlube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You could do this today. Superlube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening on this day after the Super Bowl. Patriots coach Bill Belichick not divulging the reason for not starting cornerback Malcolm Butler, who did start more than 98% of the defensive snaps in the regular season. All Belichick would say, they put the players on the field and game plan out there that they thought was best. ESPN's Damian Woody not buying that explanation.
You're going to try to tell us that this whole thing is about matchups. I mean, there's matchups going on all year long, and this guy was out there for all the different matchups. But now in the biggest game of the year, now you want to tell us that this is about matchups. Come on, man.
Damian Woody on Golick and Wingo. Philadelphia has scheduled the Eagles championship parade for Thursday morning. Magic forward Aaron Gordon, strained hip flexor, has withdrawn from the NBA All-Star Dunk Contest. Jazz rookie Donovan Mitchell will replace Gordon in that dunk contest. Number 17 Oklahoma and Trae Young host number 19 West Virginia tonight, 9 Eastern, ESPN TV and the ESPN app. Young remains on pace to be the first player to lead Division I in both points per game and assists per game since 1983-84.
To win in basketball, you got to play great coverage. And with Straight Talk Wireless, you know you're getting great coverage because they use the exact same 4G LTE towers as the big carriers, but for a lot less. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart. Refer to terms and conditions of service at straighttalk.com.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
That another team and their fans will rest easy tonight knowing they're off the list, right? That list now consists of, let's start with the teams that have never even been: Jacksonville, Cleveland, Detroit, Houston. Never been. Not once. Jacksonville's relatively young. Carolina has been, not one, also young. The teams that haven't won, you can name all of them, right? Arizona, Tennessee. Boy, Arizona, that stings. Tennessee, that stings because both were that close.
Woo!
Woo is right.
Mm-hmm. Carolina, too, if you think about it.
That's true. Yeah, Carolina as well. The now Los Angeles Chargers have never won. The Buffalo Bills, of course, as we all know, have never won. Hurtful. Them in Minnesota, the pain is real because lots of chances.
Atlanta
has never won. Carolina's never won. Cincinnati has never won.
I think Atlanta would be the only team in this list to have a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl.
That is correct. That would be the one, yeah. It's easier, I think, in a weird way, if you go and just get blown the hell out the way the Chargers did. Like, well, we weren't good enough. That's resoundingly
clear. We knew that before kickoff, and that's just kind of the way it went.
We all knew what was going to happen here, and it did. All righty. Yeah. No, I was telling young Matthew, who is the lone Philadelphia Eagles fan I'm happy for today, that it's nice when the Bucs finally won one in 2002. It was on the list of things that I never thought I'd see. The Bucs had been so bad for so long. Philadelphia's had good teams and been there and come up short. But the Bucs had been so bad for so long, sustained levels of just absolute putrid play, that it was hard for you to ever imagine a time where they could be not just good, but the best in something. And then they were. And then they did it, and then that was it. And I remember thinking, okay, well, that's good. I'm good. All right. I've seen my Knowles win. I've seen the Bucks win. I've seen my Pirates win. I'm good. I've seen the Lightning win. You know, I've got them. Check. But turns out you're not good. It's good to get off the list. You don't want to be on this list, the one I was just going over. Cleveland, Detroit, Houston, Jacksonville, Arizona, Tennessee, Los Angeles, Buffalo, Minnesota, Atlanta, Carolina, Cincinnati. You know, it's good to get off that list. But after about 5-6 years, didn't we figure out it was about 8 maybe? About 2010, we started going, come on now.
Yeah, once you get to 2010, and you don't have another playoff win since the Super Bowl.
Not even going to the playoffs.
Even, an NFC championship game appearance, by the time we got to 2010, probably would put the frustration back 3 or 4 years. But you don't even,
not even
make the playoffs but twice,
and
then you get dismissed by Washington and the Giants, respectively.
Big week, kids. I am pumped. Get it started with a little Big Daddy J action. Yeah, we're going to get in on the action tonight. Not a sleepy Monday. Not a sleepy Monday at all.
Hey, Big Daddy, having some Red Russians tonight?
We'll know in about 47 seconds.
An empty net, he scores.
Red Russians all around, Teddy.
All right, Big Daddy.
Just absurd. Wonderfully absurd. Anaheim and Toronto over under 5.5. Got to go under. It's part of the overall play on the night. Not really what I like to do in this game. Gonna take the under. I have a methodology, and I stick by it. Nashville and New York, that over under is 6. We're going under. We're going under. It's 6 under. Rangers, Stars, 6 under. We're going under. Lightning, Oilers, 6. We're going under. Feeling the under. Total for the night, 23.5. We're going under. 23.5. Under across the board on a Monday for Big Daddy J. Will it be Red Russian time tonight? You guys, you know my picks. You'll be able to see whether or not I'm drinking them or just tilting water on the way home.
I do like these unders, not just because the trend in the NHL has been unders of late. If you look at the last 3 or 4 nights of play, there's not many goals being scored. That can be expected. After you get outside the All-Star break, people starting to tighten their game up because every point matters. Mm-hmm. And if you look in the division, the Atlantic Division, or is that the Metro? I don't know what the NHL divisions are anymore, but I know the teams that comprise them. So if you look at the Rangers division, the Islanders, the Penguins, Washington, et cetera, all of those teams, top to bottom, are within 8-10 points of each other. So they're going to be playing very, very close to the vest. There's not a lot of wide open hockey.
So you're saying you're feeling good about Big Daddy J's move tonight for the under?
Yeah, I do. The board. I like the Nashville, counterbalance to what the Islanders do.
Okay,
and then I really like obviously what Dallas brings to the table in the net as well. So that and King Henrik, man, he's pretty good.
There you go.
And he's about 50.
All right, feeling good. Unders all the way. And then of course on Wednesday, we've got National Signing Day. We will have for you on the program. Just got confirmation today. We're kind of manipulating times here, Tom, but we are going to have Coach Willie Taggart join the Jeff Cameron Show on Wednesday on National Signing Day. So got that to look forward to this week. We also will have an opportunity on Wednesday to go over there and in the ESPN Executive Corner Pocket.
Yeah, that's correct.
Suite to take in Florida State, Virginia. And
a mighty fine basketball game, we hope.
Well, we do, and after having obviously doffed the cap and apologized profusely for having picked against the Noles over the weekend, giving them little to no chance, I think I said, like 5% chance, something like that. I'm gonna say that I love our chances on Wednesday, Tom. I feel very good about the chances on Wednesday.
They're terrible. Say they're terrible.
I missed one game, and now everybody's running for the hills. No. We trusted you until you screwed it up.
Well, I think if you're playing the percentages last week in general, I think everybody goes over 2. Everyone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Everybody goes over because I had us winning against Wake, although I had trepidation.
Right, because think about it. Even the optimist, gets both wrong, I would think.
I think so.
Because Louisville, 1989. Well,
that's what I said. I'm tired of watching it. I've seen it a million times, man. And that's actually a good version of this Louisville team. And And so, I kind of figured, damn it, man, it's going to be difficult to win that game.
I was just always of the mindset that there is a chance because we have shown that we can play with the best in the country. And that's where you can't give us a 0% or little to no because we've proven, but we're just that damn frustrating on the high end and the low end.
Well, remember last week as I was negative about our chances over the weekend, I did say that I loved that we would I did think that we would play really hard and really well on Wednesday. And that's all I'll say about that. That may not be enough because Virginia's real good. But I do think we'll play well. I think we're going to play well on Wednesday.
But you like it better that they're undefeated, right? Versus having suffered their first loss to, say, Syracuse over the weekend and then going on the road. You'd prefer to maybe catch them a little bit here?
Yeah, absolutely. Midweek game, maybe overlooking the Noles here a little bit.
They played terrible defense, and we played great defense.
Overlooking the Noles a little bit. It's not an ideal matchup, Tom, but we'll save that for down the road. For now, I just wanted you to know you got Willie Taggart coming on this week, and we got a big basketball game coming up this week.
Wednesday's going to be an exhausting but amazing day.
And
a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun. It's going to be a good week. We've got a lot of, hey, listen, it's this close to baseball, baby. It's this close to baseball. I'm downright giddy. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. You guys, have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.